landing that I didn't think they would, and certain hits just not falling that I thought they would get down. So I think this one can be a little more unpredictable. So I try and just keep an open mind, not try not to get frustrated.
Absolutely, it definitely is how it plays. And speaking of which, we talked to Costa a little bit about this. Have there been any players so far in this qualifier that have shown up to be MVPs? Obviously, we know guys like Yanni Diaz and Junior Caminero are like the two big bats that we see carry a lot of lineups. But are there some lesser names, pitcher or hitter, that you think have been, big reasons that you've made it this far in this qualifier this time around?
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a lesser name, but Cedric Mullins. I love Cedric Mullins. I think he's got one of the best swings. I really like the shorter hitters. I think he's 5'8", 5'9". Yeah, Cedric Mullins, I think he's got a really good swing in the game.
And one other thing, and Scan actually mentioned it on the top of broadcast, how cool would it be to be the first representative from Florida to actually make the live land finale if you could get there?
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm a Marlins fan, though, but dude, that would be cool to represent Florida.
That'd be so cool
Absolutely.
to represent. Yep. So, Dane, I wish you the best of luck. Go get it, and we'll see if we'll talk to you later.
All right. See you guys.
See you
Good
later.
luck.
All right.
Yeah, so that was Dane. We got to hear his 2 cents. We got to hear what he had to say heading on into game 1. I mean, if any of you did not see our previous qualifier, I'm not really shocked that Cedric Mullins was listed as an MVP. He was a guy in the heart of the order that was always showing up. Obviously, like the Yandy Diaz's and Junior Camineros are big parts of lineups. I'm curious to see how much we'll see players intentionally walk those guys. Apparently, that was a bit more of the strategy this time around. We saw it sprinkled in our previous qualifier. So there's other bats like Cedric Mullins, like was mentioned, some of the other guys like Johnny DeLuca. I think are going to be some big bats in the lineups here today.
Yeah, I mean, go back to Cedric Mullins. I mean, his swing, it doesn't matter lefty with him. He's like one of those swings in that movie show. It's very fluid and very quote unquote glitch. I just call him C money because you feel like he's always on the money for it. But it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate through the pitching side of things. We heard what Dane said. Steven Matz on the hill looks like for him. Very curious on who goes for Deane, see if we either see another newcomer. Nick Martinez is also doesn't throw hard, but with the new updates in MLB show that I'm sure we'll get into later on this broadcast with the strike zone. If you want someone that has real good control, does Nick Martinez make a start here tonight? So that'd be interesting to say.
Yep, they're definitely going to be a slate of a few pitchers like Rasmussen as well. We see a bit of Pepio. We even saw a Shane McClanahan appearance in the last qualifier in a game 3 of the finals, just out of disparity. So I'm really curious to see how these players actually line up these rotations. This is just a 1-game series they're playing to determine who will make it to the final here today. We got Dane, we got Costa. They'll be going head to head in just a few minutes after we come back from a quick break.
560 long days since we last called Tropicana home. Since this place hurt us. Since these walls carried every cheer. Home is where the memories live. The walk-offs. The no-hitters.
The Tampa Bay Rays have their own no-hitter.
The postseason runs. The moments that made this more than a field. This isn't about the days we missed. It's about what comes next. A different standard. A team ready to write its own chapter. An opportunity to change the story.
Rasmussen receiving a standing ovation to the wall. He's going to leap. Oh, he made the catch. The shot. High and deep. Baby.
This is the next era. Back to where it began.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sunburst Invitational Qualifier 2, brought to you by Webull. I'm Scan, and I'm with Scuffy, and we got ourselves our semifinals matchup going on in between Costa and Dane. Starting in just a moment here. Reminder, this is just our semifinal matchup. The winner of this single game is going to advance to the qualifier finals to play Pack Luck in a best of 3 series. So We got ourselves a good amount of baseball in store to watch today. Also, we have Twitch drops on in our individual channels and the main Rays Gaming channel. Feel free to hang out, connect your account on theshow.com and get those free packs. I mean, I said it last time a good bit. My best pulls in the year are out of drops. So make sure you... Yeah, unironically, my best pulls have been out of drops this year. So awesome, you never know what you're going to get out of the free packs. Feel free to get in the chat, watch, and claim those drops on the Twitch side of things whenever you get them each, I think, about hour. But we're going to be getting into our game in this moment. We got a full slate of stuff in store. I'm excited for this one game, and I'm really interested in the starting pitchers, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I love that we're including the semifinal matchup, the end-all be-all game. It's a great appetizer of what we're going to expect for the finals, for the qualifier finals, and we're jumping right into it. It's going to be everyone's on deck here. They'll go through, and the thing is, when you have a game 7 like this, especially when we see it in the Sunburst Invitational, if something's not working, if their starting pitching is not working, they'll pull them out as soon as possible. I think we've seen it in the past where game 3s for qualifier finals, where a starter might only go a 2/3 inning. If something's not working, they'll go straight into a bullpen game. So you see everything here in the Sunburst Invitational. You see bunts, you see hit and runs, you see it all than you typically see in Diamond Dynasty. And not only that, remember these attributes or these cards only go to 99. So you don't see the ones that go up to over 100 to the 125. But enough of me talking. We are ready to go. Best of 1 semifinal matchup between Costa and Dane.
And here we go. Steven Matz on the bump. In case you were confused on who's home and who's away, check your bottom right corner underneath that score bug. That's driven to right field by Yandy Diaz. That's going to be a leadoff single here. Costa getting it going, doing Costa things, slapping that ball the opposite way. And here comes Chandler Simpson, who is one of those names mentioned by Costa, and we're already seeing it. The change to the strike zone in the update last night. Now in this game, all you need is the ball to touch the strike zone in online games for it to be a strike. It obviously matches real life baseball. As it's grounded to first, play at second is quickly turned, but no play with Chandler Simpson running with 99
one
speed.
I'm interested in. Scan, let me ask you, if you knew that was Chandler, well, you know that's Chandler Simpson, would you try to just get to first? Because no matter what, look, he's stealing here first. Even with a pitch out, easy. Get him to second. What if you got him at first and you just stick with Yandy with the speed at second there? I know that's kind of hard to think about in the moment, but something you could do there. But going back to the strike zone, like we mentioned, new update just happened today. The strike zone visually is going to look smaller. Still the same strike zone per se, I would say, that we typically use, but now visually, it more represents to the MLB style, and then you'll see anything that hits black will be a strike. Just missed there. I had to been by a pixel right there.
Yeah, must have been real close. And this is exactly why you choose someone like Steven Matz to try to tackle the big lefty bats in the lineup like Jonathan Aranda. And we're seeing it already. 3 straight low and away sliders to start off this at bat from Dane on the mound. Gonna go inside sinker there. Good pitch in the zone. Makes this a 2-2 count. That's driven up the middle, but fielded it short. What a turn. And Dane gets out of trouble. 2 runners get on, and he gets out of that jam and still remains a 0-0 game. And what may end up being in some of these games, pretty critical 0 to start off the top of the first.
Yeah, you always want to start with a 0 at the top of first, especially since it's an offense-heavy type of game. But still, that was a great pitch. And not only that, that was a great swing from Costa there, just right to the shortstop and able to get 2. And then Yandy Diaz leading off for Dane. That's going to be off the wall, but with 34 speed, he'll stay at first. So both Yandy Diaz starts off with a leadoff single.
Yep, opposite way too. But now you got the lefty-lefty match, but Aranda in the 2 spot for Dane rather than the 4 spot that we saw with Costa. Trying to elect for more at-bats out of Aranda here. Going to make this a 1-1 count. Down and in sinker is going to find the zone, make this a 1-2 count. The pitch from Costa, jam shot inside, late swing. That'll be routine for Caminero over at third for our first out here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see Aranda in the second spot because his clutch is rather high. right? So you kind of want to give him some bats in front of him, try to get a man in scoring position to get that. I believe it's even greater than any contact against righties or lefties with him. So, but here's Caminero. That's a perfect. That's ripped to the left field, and that'd be now first and second here for Dane with one out in the bottom of first.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful here. Cedric Mullins is that type of guy who does well, even lefty-lefty. That's driven up the middle. Not hit hard enough, though. Just misses that PCI. We fly out for Dane at the dish. Now 2 outs, but 2 runners on still here. And that's driven to deep left field. It's in high. It's in deep, but caught on the track. Wow. That PCI got really small for Dane at the dish there. So once again, a 0 in the bottom of the first. We're still 0-0 heading into the top of the second.
Yeah, but they're both being aggressive on the mound here. They're throwing strikes right from the jump and getting contact, but getting it right to where they want for the fielders. And look at that pitch. That circle change, just hitting that outside corner there for strike 1.
That's driven hard to Caminero at third, but he's going to glove that. 1 out here in the top of the second. And I think that, yep, you go on.
No, I was just going to say, with the new strike zone, I'm very curious if it's going to make them swing more often than not. Just knowing that anything close is going to be called on the black. Yes, they're used to, because this is a whole new change, pretty much, for them. For day one, whole new change. So I feel like we'll see them be a little bit more aggressive swinging. That's ripped. That should actually find some grass, I think, Scan. Oh, maybe not.
No,
That's commentary jinx. There's one for tonight.
Yep, I was going to say, you probably got Chandler Simpson out there. He's going to coast over to that. But another 0. 3 straight zeros to start off the game here. Dane now coming up to the plate, looking to take our first lead of the game.
I had to get at least one in. It's been a while since I've been with her Scan. So
you have to rip the Band-Aid off right away. That's driven high to center field. It's in deep. It does not have the legs. That'll be caught. Not even at the warning track. Wow.
Yeah, just not enough power right there for Fortes. Has 36 power, but great swing from Dane. And look, there's no expression on him. He's the same thing. He just moves on to the next bat. That's just going to be a fly out, though, to center field again for 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the second. Yeah, quick work. Look, 13 pitches only here for Costa with the Steven Matz.
Yeah, you don't really see this out of starting pitchers too much in these tournaments. The last time we watched, starting pitchers were lucky to even go 4. We're potentially at a scenario that's roped up the middle. Perfect by Taylor Walls. Dane's finally got a runner here in the bottom of the second, now with 2 outs. And normally you don't see the pitch counts be this low so early on in the game. Normally you're seeing, things kind of at least past 20 at this point in the second in games like this. But now you got Chandler Simpson up. Look like a small adjustment to the defense. Here with 2 outs.
We'll see what Chandler could do here. Another great pitch right there from Steven Matz. Get the inside corner. Now anything, like once you have that 2 strikes, you're looking to swing at anything close.
Yep, you got to defend. He's going to do so right there. Another 1-2 pitch from Costa. This one's driven to right center. That's going to find some grass. No runners will advance, though. So here we go. 2 outs. Another hit for Dane at the dish. But now you got top of the order, 2 runners on for Yandy Diaz. So you got to be careful here if you're Costa. Make sure make sure doesn't get underneath the ball too much here.
This is why it's such a great spot for Yandy. Just he has the clutch, he has the contact and the power. He has all around. Might not have the speed, but he's dangerous at the top. He's the table setter. And right now, having first and second here and two outs, that's going to be a ripped. That's fine, some grass. We'll get the first run of the game. Will we get 2? Chandler Simpson cover. Oh, he stops at third, but he's going, little stop here. Are we going to see some shenanigans? No, we're not. But Dane takes the 1-0 lead off a Yandy Diaz 1-run single here in the bottom of the second.
You take that as well if you're Costa. Unfortunately, base running mistake. I assume Dane was thinking he was going to throw straight home there. Decided to send a runner to second, and it costs him. It's driven to the gap by Ben Williamson. And it's now a leadoff runner for Costa. Nobody out, and we're kind of seeing a similar situation the last inning. Try to get the bottom of the order on, get a couple guys up on the bases for Yandy Diaz in the top here, and just a couple batters.
Yeah, good swing, good response already from Costa. Let's see if he gets something going here. It works the count right now, 2-0. 23 pitches so far for Steven Matz. Make that 3-0. And you got Yandy Diaz looming, top of the order.
Yeah, 3-0 taken all the way there. Gets a low sinker down and then makes this a 3-1 count. The pitch from Dane, that's grounded to third. Caminero gloves it easily to flip to 2, back to 1. And it's an easy double play. So what was quickly a 3-0 count with nobody out and a runner on first very quickly turns into nobody on with 2 outs for Yandy. But that's driven the deep left field. It's hit high, it's hit deep, and it is gone. Just like that, we're tied 1-1, and Costa responds right away here in the top of the third.
Another 2-out hit right there that we see here between the two competitors. This time Costa able to tie the game, but Costa, he doesn't look, he feels like he left some runners on base right there, right? Yeah. Especially with the double play. That changeup that he had in the double play was right down the Broadway, and he just missed it, and he was pretty upset there. But luckily, he was able to get that home run from Yandy Diaz and tied this game here at 1.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing interesting relationship with our two players and how different comp players play the games. That's driven the deep left field. That'll be caught routine for a first out here in the bottom of the third. You got Dane, who's just cool, calm, collected. It's what he always has been. Costa chooses the side of showing the emotions, and when things happen, you could see it very easily. He lets it out. That's going to be an intentional walk to Junior Caminero here with 1 out. Sets up the double play for Cedric Mullins, but this is probably going to be something we see a bit today, that intentional walk. But that's driven to deep right field, and that is going to go. Lefty bomb for Cedric Mullins. And just like that, Dane takes the lead right back. It's 3-1.
See money, baby. That's what I love to see. Lefty crime right there, and follows up with perfect from DeLuca. But you saw like a little shake of the head from Dane after that, after seeing that no doubter from Cedric Mullins. All right, you can walk, Caminero. I got Cedric Mullins right behind him. We'll be just fine.
Absolutely, Cedric Mullins. He's that type of guy. Looks like we have a steal here. The throw to second, not in time. So now runner in scoring position for Dane. Nick Fortes up at the plate here, trying to add on to this 3-1 lead. That'll be fouled off, makes this a 1-2 count. Another good take makes this a 2-2 count. The 34th pitch for Steven Matz here. Perfect to right center field, and it's caught. What a play in right.
Does he send it home?
This out number 2. Ooh. I like the thought. That would have been fun to see, but probably not smart baseball. So 2 outs now. Dane is trying to add on here, currently up 3-1 after a 2-run home run this inning. Trying to add a little bit more cushion. I think we're at that point in the game where the bats are just warming up. Obviously, they're still scoring runs. As that's driven the deep left field, and as I say that, Ben Williamson's going to hit it out. 5-1 ball game now for Dane. 4-run inning here. And it looks like his bat's warming up all right.
Yeah, his bat is warmed up right there. 3rd run off 2 outs in the past 2 innings. I mean, that's what we see from these top competitors, and what is the difference maker when you try to win these games at these high stakes.
Yeah, the hits just kind of string together, and when these innings happen, they make the big difference in these games. That's driven to left. Is it going to be caught? It is. Just barely at the track. But not before Dane puts up a 4 spot. Makes this a 5-1 ball game. And now that tips the pressure back over the Costa at the dish. Is we're going to see an intentional walk to start us off. Junior Caminero won't even get to swing the bat. But only 28 pitches right now for Steven Matz and Dane on the mound. Interested to see if Costa tries to change up the approach a bit. Is a little bit less aggressive. See if anything changes here in this 4th inning. That's driven to left field. That'll be caught for a first out here.
Now you might be asking why they keep on walking Junior Caminero. He is indeed the best bat in this lineup, as we all know. And it's been what we've been seeing throughout the weekend in this qualifier too, is just intentional walking either Yandy Diaz or Caminero, because you know there's a lefty following them, and most of them have been using Steven Matz for the starters, so they're just trying to get into that double play scenario, try to sneak one together. Didn't work out well for Costa in the previous half inning. Here, we'll see what happens here for Dane.
Yep, absolutely. 2-0 count as well. The Fortes at the plate here. But there's that low changeup again. It's going to be grounded to Caminero. We're going to get one. He's going to get two. He does. Another clutch double play for Dane on the mound. And he gets out of trouble once again. Holds on to that 5-1 lead. So big 0 after putting up a 4 spot. Now able to solidify a little bit of a lead. Try to add on to make this even bigger. And now you got the top of the order coming up for Dane. Yandy Diaz starting us off.
And what's been working for Dane is that circle changeup from Mats. It's the second circle change that introduced a double play for him in back-to-back innings.
Absolutely. You're going to see those low and away pitches, especially the low changeup, low sliders. They're going to be the pitches you see a lot of today. Yandy Diaz here, not seeing much in the strike zone right now. 3-0. It's going to be 4 straight balls. Kind of it looked like an intentional walk there. Once again, going for that lefty-lefty matchup with Aranda. And there's that low and away changeup once again. Curious to see if he ever throws inside here. Going to go changeup once again, make this a 1-1 count. That one will be low. Slider down to the way, swing and a miss. Makes this a 1-2 count. Another slider is going to make this a 2-2 count. 47 pitches on Steven Matz on the bump and Dane. Or Costa on the mound. Is that driven to left field? It's going to be a poke just to the gap, and Yanni's going to be able to coast over to third too. So perfectly found spot for that little dunk of a single there. And now you got 2 runners on. Really no base for Junior Caminero, and in comes Brian Baker for the big matchup here. That's driven to right field. Right to the right fielder, though, so there will be no play at home. A big out right there.
And Baker has been one of the more dominant relievers that we've been seeing, especially with his slider against righties that we've been seeing. So we'll see how he mixes it up here for Cedric Mullins. Last bat with Mullins was a 2-run shot. This time that's going to get through the hole. He'll get another RBI in this game and make it 6-1 here in the bottom of 4th for Dane.
Yeah, down the way fastball. He's even early on it, but just finds a hole. These are the at-bats that are big for Costa right now. You got to try to minimize. You got the righty-righty matchup. Expect a heavy dosage of those sliders down in the way. Is he going to be able to hit the spot? Is Dane going to be able to poke it the other way like you want to? Gets a high fastball. It's jammed into the ground, though. No double play, though. The 90 speed out of DeLuca. He's going to beat that out. So 2 outs still. Inning alive here. And first pitch swing, Nick Fortes will fly this to center. So 1 run will be put up here in the bottom of the 4th for Dane. So that will make this a 6-1 ball game as we're heading to those middle innings.
He's still attacking on, though. That's what you want to do. He able to get the 0 and attack on. I know it's only 1 run, but this is what you need to do. I mean, just put up 0. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? It's the name of baseball. But still, when you know what these players are capable on the offense side of things, where they could turn it around in an instant, you need to get all the runs possible that you can get in these type of games.
That's grounded routine the second. A quick first out here for Costa at the dish. Currently down 5 in this best-of-1 semifinal. We've seen some innings from Costa at the dish. He's gotten runners on, but just has not cashed in the way that we have seen him do it before. Steven Matz still on the mound as well. As this is dunked to center field. It's going to land. It's going to get past Cedric Mullins. Luckily, the right fielder is there to back up the play, so this will only be a double. But, ooh, that could have been scary there if there was nobody back there. So a 1-out double for Costa at the dish, and this right here is a big at-bat. Would love to get this runner on for Yandy Diaz in that leadoff spot on deck.
Or try to get Taylor up here. Then does he walk Yandy? No, that's going to drop. That's going to be RBI single from Taylor Wars. And Costa gets his 2nd run of the game. Now, this is going to be an interesting spot right here. What do you do if you're Dane? Do you keep rolling with Mats? Looks like he will.
I think you do. But he's going to go down the way, changeup crushed to right center field. It's going to find a gap. Yandy Diaz cashes in here. Make this a 6-3 ball game. Costa now puts up 2 here in the 5th. But now you got big out to get lefty-lefty versus Chandler Simpson. And you got to keep an eye out on Steven Matz like you mentioned. But One pitch, he's going to get that ground out. So now 2 outs. Up comes Junior Caminero. Is he going to pitch to him? No, he's not. Dane is going to put up the 4 fingers. So now you got runners on the corners with 2 outs here for Costa and Jonathan Aranda at the dish. He's going to hit that to left, and this one is going to find a glove. So Costa responds a bit with a 2 spot, but still is down 3-6 as we're heading to the bottom of the 5th.
Good response there, able to get some runs across. I was surprised he was so aggressive with that Aranda at bat right there, going with the first pitch there, especially with the tying run at the plate. Maybe you want to be a little bit more selective there, but either way, he gets 2 runs there. Now he has Brian Baker. Like we said, Baker has been dominant throughout the weekend. 2 now here in the qualifier finals, well, semifinals right now. And look at that. I mean, I don't think he got straight out so far. That's his 3rd straight out right there from Brian Baker. Make that 4.
Yeah, another fly out. Make it 2 outs here in the 5th. And aggressive swinging out of Dane at the dish. And I think we're seeing a lot of just aggressive swings in general. And I think your point is an interesting one about should he have been a little bit more patient there with 2 outs with Jonathan Aranda. But it's a tough call because with how players are going to play, how they're going to pitch with the PCI shrinkage and the meta that we see on Legend. If you can guess a pitch, sometimes you want to take that swing, even if it's not the best one. And once again, a good timing, just missed PCI swing for Dane. That's a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, that was a quick work. That was a great inning in general for Costa. Now he needs to continue tacking on right here. We have Johnny DeLuca 1 for 2 already in the game. Takes that first strike there from Steven Matz. And right now, this is a good start. I know he only gave up only 3 runs so far with Steven Matz, but this is a great start. We mentioned how with MLB Show and esports with the starters, if you can get them through 4 to 5 innings, that is indeed, and only give up like 3 to say 4 runs. Yeah. That's their way of a quality start for sure.
You absolutely take that. You would love to, if you are Dane, push Steven Matz here through the bottom half of this order here. That would really get you a long way. You could find a way to get through the 6th inning. You have all the bullpen options. You can play the matchups. But it all starts with this first out. Can he get DeLuca? As that's driven the deep left field. Not really hit too hard. So this will be caught right by the left fielder. So once again, Steven Matz is getting outs. 1 out here. Costa, though. Another solid swing that he just missed. There's a down the way changeup. That is also going to be flown out just to right field. Man. It's interesting. We got a 6-3 ball game here. But I feel like all game, both of these guys have put up good swings. It's just been a matter of just missing the ball, which is how it goes sometimes. There's once again hard ground ball, lefty right to the second baseman. Steven Matz gets through another inning strong.
Yeah, I believe that was his 53rd pitch of the game. So you could probably, if you want, get another inning, especially to see how we go here in the bottom of the half. You put up some more, you have more room for Matz to go another inning here.
Yeah, all the runs matter, like you've mentioned before. 3-run lead is nothing. It could disappear in a blink of an eye. That one's crushed. Just foul. Well, not just foul, very foul. Make that an 0-1 count. Dane at the dish, currently up 6-3. Reminder, this is a best-of-1 game. Winner of this game moves on to the final best-of-3 series to play against Packluck. But we got a 6-3 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. That's going to be flown to center field. Caught routinely for a first out here in the inning. Aranda will be set down. And I got to say that even though we see the bullpen in the game for Costa on the mound earlier, he's getting some distance out of Baker here. Another out here in the 6th, but a big swing and a miss from Junior Caminero makes it 0-1. That one's not swung and missed, though. Perfect. 112 miles an hour off the bed. Absolute laser from Dane and Junior Caminero.
Yeah, started out with the fastball, got the swing and miss, trying to change out speeds, but missed the location, it looks like there, and Caminero was all over that ball to get the 2-run shot there and give Dane the crease to lead there to 8-3. I was surprised. We didn't see one slider there from Baker in any of those righties at bats. Now we do, and then look at that, popped up right to center field for out number 3.
Yeah, and that's going to end our 6th inning. So there you go. A couple runs for Dane. It's a little bit more of a cushion here as we're heading to later 3rd innings. I mean, Kind of a big situation for Dane. You still have Steven Matz in this game. He's gotten outs for you. You're holding now a 5-run lead. You know, no reason to change anything. Just keep him in for at least these next couple of batters and just hope it keeps working. He's been really effective with that circle change. He's kind of just not really giving in. He's throwing a lot of low circle changes, sinkers, tunneling the knees in the zone. That one is going to find the zone, though. That's going to be roped to left field. So make this a leadoff single. Costa trying to come back down 5 at the plate right now. And now we might see the pull. Steven Matz only at like 50-something pitches, but you have all the relievers in the world, and in comes Brian Baker. For I assume the righties who are on deck. And there's that changeup. Hit very high to straightaway right. Man, what can you do with that pitch right there? That'll be our first out here at the top of the 7th.
Yeah, it's just he's been east-westing and just mixing up his pitches very well here with Dane. And look at that. Look at that slider inside. Nothing you do there. And Yandy Diaz, I didn't even realize, triple away from the cycle for Costa here, which we still haven't seen throughout all the years. I don't think we've seen one cycle yet so far.
Yeah, I don't think we have either. I mean, I'm here for the chaos ball. I'd love to see a triple just from a spectator perspective. And that one's driven high to center field. It's hit deep, but it's going to be caught in front of the track. So a swing that if you're Costa, you probably want back just a hair bit behind on that swing timing. Just misses that one. So that's going to make it 2 outs here in the 7th. But up comes Chandler Simpson. Chandler Simpson's been one of those guys we've seen a lot of. We've seen homers over the wall somehow in these games in previous qualifiers. We've seen bunting. We've seen it all with him. Currently ahead 3-0 in this at-bat, the Brian Baker now. Now things might get interesting. Junior Caminero on deck. You see Costa doesn't even have the controller in his hands right now. He's taken all the way. He's going to look at strike 1 there, right down the middle. The pitch, another strike. So now 3-2 count. Dane battles back, makes it a full count. Runner should be running here with 2 outs. Perfect right to the second baseman. Man, what a swing from Costa. It just finds a glove. And that's going to end our inning still 8-3 Dane. All the momentum, if you could really say there's momentum in this game, is certainly skewed on Dane's side as he is holding a 5-run lead with only 3 innings left.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It went right to the fielder there at the perfect swing. Nothing you do there. We mentioned both of these guys have been having great swings regardless if there have been hits or outs. And there's one from Fortes. That should get down, and that'll be a leadoff single here for Dane.
Yeah, you would love to keep this pressure on. You got Brian Baker near the 30 pitch count. Looks like he will probably be pulled. Costa is going to put in Kevin Kelly. I was about to say you would love to try to catch a run while you have the high pitch count out of Baker, but in comes Kevin Kelly.
Look at that.
85 control.
85 control, especially with the new update with the strike zone. This is someone that could definitely be doing damage here tonight, especially as they get adjusted to the new strike zone here.
That one is driven high to center field. Emphasis on high, not as far as it could go. That's going to be a fly out for a first out here in the 7th. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how you approach pitching here. I mean, we talked about the control in the first pitch. You threw a sweeper right over the heart of the plate. Kind of funny how that goes. Swing and miss, strike 1 to start off our at bat here. That's going to be grounded to short. Second base is not that close to second, but they still turn 2. So Costa does manage to get out of trouble, finally get a 0 on the mound. So still an 8-3 ball game here in the top of the 8th.
Not gonna lie, this game is flying. I mean, there's been a lot of aggressive swings, a lot of first pitch outs, but right there, Junior Caminero gets Costa going here at the top of the 8th. That's gonna be a leadoff double. Now let's see if Costa could do something here. He got the heart of, basically the heart of the line was already up with the Caminero, but now you got the cleanup here of Aranda. Do we see Seymour now? Even though he has 2 righties afterwards, we do. So we're going to see the only lefty from the Rays with Seymour, and look at that swing right off Aranda. That finds some grass, and that'll be a RBI single here from Costa to cut the lead in half to be 8-4 now. Yeah,
I was just about to say, you almost want to celebrate that you didn't give up a home run to Caminero, but he responds by putting a new pitcher and giving up a double right away. This is going to be a ground ball. Is he going to turn two? He is. Dane responds with a quick double play. Another swing that Costa just misses on a low circle change. The lefty's been effective on the mound for Dane this game. He's now only 4 outs away from picking up a win here.
This is where you start getting the rally and you start swinging at pretty much every pitch because you feel like you want to get all the runs back in one swing. But when you're down by 4, I feel like you need a little bit more patience here if you're Costa.
It's a tough battle for sure. Trying to be aggressive and swing at pitches you're ready for while also working that pitch count. I get it.
Like, you get the confidence, you get the hit, and you want to just keep on getting those hits. But sometimes that's not the best pitch to swing at right afterwards. But you know what? I'm not in their seats. I can't do what they do. So I just...
That's what I was about to say. It's like, it's insane how often you see hits strung together like these guys do. It's just automatic at some points when the swings start to really connect. You've definitely pointed it out very accurately. Costa has been swinging very aggressively. He's been kind of hurting himself on some jams with runners on, grounding into some crucial double plays. And there's once again a low and away sweeper. It's going to end our inning. So Dane does a good job of minimizing, only gives up 1. He's only 3 outs away from moving on to our qualifier final here up against Packluck.
Yep, and remember, you are watching the Rays Gaming Sunburst Invitational presented by Webull. This is our second qualifier. Whoever wins this game is going to move on to the finals here tonight to face Packluck, and whoever wins the finals will punch their ticket to be the second competitor to advance to the live land finale and play for up to $12,000.
Absolutely. A lot of money at stake. But making it this far into a qualifier, these players have played numerous rounds of games. They went to a bracket. They played a bunch of qualifier games, and it's been quite the path in these individual qualifiers for these players to get to this point. So the stakes are definitely high in a best of 1 here. As we're quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, Jonathan Aranda up at the dish for Dane. Once again, Dane is your home team here, currently up 8-4. This is a best of 1 game, so the winner will move on to play Packluck. That's a solid cut right to short, though. That's going to end our 8th, so a 0 on the mound for Costa, as he's looking to score 4 at the very least to stay alive in his ball game. Top of the 9th. It all comes down to this. That's a new strike right on the corner. I got to get used to that strike zone. It's going to keep on throwing me off. That's going to be grounded to third. Cabanero gets there and gloves it. Routine play is going to be our first out here in the 9th. Once again, ground ball and a low changeup for our first out here in the inning. Once again, low and away circle change. First pitch swinging. Taylor Walls is going to ground out this time. Diurnal, Dane, 1 out away for moving on to our final here in qualifier number 2. And first pitch, high fastball is going to get the swing.
And gives them the flexibility now. Get the first 2 outs in the 9th. I mean, you could utilize the bullpen however you want. You got Chandler's system up on deck. I mean, Yandy Diaz can't tie up the game in one swing. So, you still got Griffin Jacks in the bullpen too.
That's driven the deep right field, though. Is this going to be caught? It is not. It's going to land right on the track. So Yandy Diaz is going to get a 2-out double here for Costa at the plate. Might be a sign of life for him. But once again, the lefty-lefty matchups, these have been some of the tough matchups. There's a sweeper, grounded right to Aranda. And just like that, this game is over in the blink of an eye. Dane picks up the win, 8-4. And he will be moving on to our qualifier number 2 final to play against Packluck here. Wow, honestly, that game is insane how fast it felt. But Diurnal, Dane, I keep on actually calling him Diurnal, put up a bunch of runs. He made big damage in big rallies. And unfortunately, we never really saw Costa get the most comfortable or take advantage of the same opportunities that he got at the plate.
Yeah, he couldn't get he had one good inning where he was able to get 2 runs back after Dane was able to get a solo shot. But after that, it just felt like a very aggressive swinging from Costa. Very first pitch swinging, just trying to get it felt like he was trying to get all the runs back as soon as he can, or try to get something going. he did make some good swings. It just sometimes didn't fall. He had that perfect out, few double plays that he was right on it, but went right to the fielder. But you got to give it to Dane. Dane put up some great bats, and he was able to get 2 out runs, right? He was able to get this one, as you see on the screen here, this Yandy Diaz solo shot. And then the next half inning, he was able to get a 2-run shot, I believe it was from Caminero, or maybe a double from Caminero to make it 5-1, and then he just kept on tacking on from there.
Yeah, and that's kind of how these games go sometimes. When you get to those later games and you get length out of a starting pitcher, it's tough to really make a comeback when the other team has the full bullpen to use. And especially Dane did a good job of just attacking the weaknesses. He didn't really give in to much. While on the other side of things, we saw this big home run for Junior Caminero. We were kind of shocked that we didn't see that low and away slider kind of get thrown in that righty-righty matchup like you would expect to see there. And Dane did a good job of punishing him for it, hitting a big home run. And just like that, he was able to run away with that game.
Yeah, he was able. I mean, probably the MVP of the game, even though we're mentioning his hitting side and especially the 2-out rallies that we mentioned. It's definitely, like you mentioned, Steven Matz. To go 6+ innings, especially at this type of level, for your starter, that sets up so much for you throughout the rest of the game. And he was able to work the bullpen. And he didn't even get to Griffin Jackson that game. I believe he just used Brian Baker and then Seymour, and that was it. Yeah. So, but let's actually get to Dane, get to our winner, see how he's feeling, and going into the final matchup between him and Packluck. Oh, I'm sorry. After the break, we'll go for a short break first, and then we'll get to Dane, see where he's at, how he's feeling. We know we got to give him a little break after that Swagger game. So we'll be back shortly, and we'll get to Dane for an interview, see how he's feeling.
At the plate, I see everything. Sometimes it's preparation, sometimes it's just have fun. I'm always analyzing that ahead of my next game. Same is real time there on the Webull. Difficult moment, it's difficult moment, but you gotta stay in the right line.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rays Sunburst Invitational, brought to you by Webull. We just saw a fun game number 1 between Dane and Costa. Dane coming out on top with the 8-4 win. Now we actually have Dane ready to talk to us, get his thoughts after that first win to start off the day, and we're going to see his thoughts. He just moved on to our qualifier number 2 finals. There he is. Dane, how do we feel after that showing here to move on to our qualifier finals?
Yeah, I feel great. It was a super clean game. Hit well, not always with runners on, but still did enough to win.
So let me ask you, going into the game, did you expect, or let me ask you, how big was it to have Steven Matz go 6+ innings for you?
Yeah, pretty big. I did some reviewing of our first game and then just his couple of games, so I kind of just attacked him differently. But yeah, I really didn't think he'd go. What, he throw 6 or 7 innings? I'm not 100% sure, but I really thought I was gonna have to go to Baker sooner. But yeah, I pitched really well with the lefties.
Absolutely. Was there anything you noticed in his approach at the plate that you were abusing on the mound? We were noticing a lot of those at bats. You were throwing a lot of those low circle changes. Was that for any calculated reason, or was that just the normal pitch sequence that you would go to in that scenario, pitching with Matz and later on Seymour?
Yeah, for hitting Matz when a righty's up to bat, I really feel like his sinker's easy to hit, so I was just gonna throw changeups. I did that in our first game when he beat me, and the problem was I was leaving him too up, so I made sure trying to get those down as much as possible. So it turned a lot of weak line drives into grounders, so I was able to get more outs on those. That's about it.
You were able to get 2 crucial double plays off that changeup from Steven Matz in back-to-back innings, and then your 2-out hitting. You had a Yandy Diaz home run, and then I believe you had another extra base hit that get you 2 more runs beforehand. That just shows, I mean, for you, especially being a veteran in this scene, you realize how big those 2-out hits are. Do you feel more locked in when you have the more pressure on you, when you have the 2 outs, but you have runners on?
Yeah, I guess I don't really feel more pressure, but I do feel like once you get a couple hits going, even if I fly out to center, it's a perfect or it's a good swing, not so much the result, but as long as I'm swinging the bat well, I feel more comfortable. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, congrats on winning that game. You're going to be heading into this finals here in the best of 3 series going up against Pack Luck. Is there anything change-wise you're going to make to the team or strategy heading into this, or are you just feeling good with everything that's worked so far and you're just heading into this finals all business as usual?
Yeah, game 1, I'll change nothing. Assuming he throws Mats. I'm not sure about the other 2 games. I don't know who he'll throw. So lineup will probably change depending on his pitcher. But game 1, I don't have any changes.
Awesome. So good luck to, and we'll see if you clinch the spot to go into the finale after this series and being the first Florida representative in the Sunburst Invitational of year number 4. So good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck. Yeah, that game kind of like, it almost like was tough to absorb. It just like things were happening so fast. Saw so many aggressive swings from both sides. Innings were kind of just like going quickly. We were talking through some points about the game. We have a lot more to watch here in just a moment. We got Pack Luck end up hopping on in a few minutes, going up against Dane. Now coming into a best of 3 series. So there's some different implications now. It's the best of 3 series, right?
Yes, so now with it being a best of 3 series, each game they had to have a different starter. So that strategy comes into it. Not only that, just the strategy in itself, because you're seeing the same opponent back-to-back games. How are you going to approach everything? How are you going to use your bullpen, especially against the same lineup? As we saw with Costa and Dane, they both had similar to the lineup, but different. They were able to, like we saw Aranda in the second spot for Dane, where it was Chandler Simpson for Costa. So there's like little things here and there that you pick up that you try to adjust to throughout the series. But regardless, the big factor is definitely the starters. Who do you go to after? It looks like Mats. I believe we still have Nick Martinez, Rasmussen. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rasmussen is also on the roster. I'm expecting him game number 2 if Mats isn't going game 1 for people, or is going game 1 for people. And then game 3 is going to be the interesting one if it goes the distance. I think the first 2 starters are pretty solidified. We're going to be curious to see if we get to that point.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to even see if it goes.
Maybe it's just me, especially just I know his par, his perfect accuracy region is rather smaller on his pitches, and especially with the new strike zone, you see how aggressive both of them were. I know we were saying on Costa because he was down, so it was a little bit more. We were being a little bit more vocal about it, but Dane was aggressive too. And when everything was particularly close, they were swinging because they knew they had to protect. So it's definitely been a little bit different type of game that we've been seeing here today than we usually see.
Yeah, it's a mental adjustment for sure, because now that strike zone is just visually smaller. Anyone who's been playing the game like most of us have been for years now, it's like a different mental cue. The zone feels smaller. Now do you know, okay, I can't just take these pitches because the ball looks like it's going to be less than halfway into the zone. Yep. Now I have to swing just because I think it's going to be close to the zone. And it's a little bit of a mental change. And this qualifier here is literally right on the very first day of everyone trying this for the first time. So it's going to be really curious to see how much we see in a best of 3 series and different pitchers coming into play, if there'll be any sort of changes heading into it. I'm curious to see how Pack Luck puts together his lineup. I was kind of interested in the Chandler Simpson in the 2 spot there. Obviously, we're seeing the lefties being big parts of the lineups here. I'm curious to see how many lefties we'll even see, because last time we saw, I believe it was Alex Kill we saw last time, almost stacked all righties. I think he only had Aranda as his sole lefty in those lefty matchup games. So I'm curious to see if we see anything different. If people know they're going to see Steven Matz.
We'll also see, I'm sure, throughout the series is the intentional walks. We saw it before. We didn't really mention it before the top of broadcast, but this has been a strategy that we've been seeing throughout the weekend. Well, the intentional walk, say a Yandy Diaz or a Caminero to go to those lefties. Because, I mean, let's face it, the best 2 hitters, regardless against righties or lefties, is that Yandy Diaz and Caminero. Yeah. So you kind of want to pick your poison. We saw it work out for Dane. he was able to get out of it when he intentional walked Caminero. But for Costa, he intentional walked Caminero, and then we saw Cedric Mullins hit a 2-run shot the next pitch. So it's really, you really had to pick your spots when doing that.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to see on the pitching side of things, I felt like most of the home runs that went down that last game were on pitches that were anything higher, like belt high and higher.
Yep.
It was a very common
with Caminero. I forgot what the Yandy was.
Yeah, I forgot the Yandy one too. But I know the Cedric Mullins one we saw was also an inside sinker that just was a little bit higher. I think a lot of the things pitching wise that's important with these players is minimizing the home runs. Make sure you keep those changeups low. I mean, Dane kind of talked about it there when he first played Costa. He was pitching a lot of low changeups, but he ended up throwing them a little too high when they had previously played. But he made sure to really focus on keeping them low, and it really worked out for him. So who is going to be the pitcher who could hit the spots better? Who's going to be the pitcher who could keep those changeups low? Because if anything ends up too high, we've been noticing it's been punished a good bit.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see how we go, and especially now being the best of 3 series, like we said. But once again, I do want to mention, Scan, we do got drops going on. So make sure you have your drops linked, because you could get drops right now for watching any of the live streams that are going on to broadcast the Sunburst Invitational. And not only that, we have a special Sunburst Invitational pack that you could get this year. And once again, thanks to SES for able to get that pack for us, but that's kind of cool that we get the own Sunburst Invitational. So hope you guys are enjoying so far. We got our finals coming up momentarily. We should be getting to Pack Luck momentarily to see how he's feeling, and as he goes into this finals matchup against Dane.
And I double checked, I wanted to make sure it was correct. It seems like this stream they don't have the special raise pack at least showing on the drop screen. I can't 100% confirm if they're like not in there. Last qualifier, we did have those packs though. So I don't know if we'll see those returning down the road. I know there's been some confusion in the chat, so I want to make sure that was it, at least acknowledged there. But either way, you get Twitch drops. They're fun to get. You never know what you're going to pull out of them. Like my first diamonds of the year were pulled from them, and you never know what you're going to get. We have ourselves a best of 3 series. If this goes the distance, we get a bunch of drops in store, which is always a win-win. And speaking of win-win, I think we're going to be talking to Pack Luck in just a moment here. I think he just sat back down at his desk. So I think we're going to hear his thoughts heading into this best of 3 series in just a moment. And reminder, this is now a best of 3. They're still on legend difficulty. They're still using the raise team. And they can only use one specific starter in a game. They can't repeat the same starting pitcher in game 2 or game 3. So now you have a little bit more gamesmanship with it being a best of 3 series. I'm kind of curious to hear his thoughts heading into this series, if he has any plans about that pitching rotation and who he plans to go to here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially to see what he saw from the semifinal matchup as well, as if there's anything that might he take from that game into the best of 3 series. I mean, you heard Dane say he did his homework. It's fun to hear that these top guys, they do the homework, they look at past games. We heard that Zazzy has done that, our first champion of the Sunburst Invitational. And more players keep on doing that and strategize off that. It's kind of cool to hear from that. Like we hear from the analytics side for regular baseball, right? But now just to kind of look at what you could do better from MLB show wise, I mean, you could kind of do the same here.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested with that, because like we talked to Costa, and a lot of players have this strategy to just stick to their own approach, stick to their own strategy, to try not to overthink things. And it's kind of fun to see that. Like I think it's cool to nerd in on their strategies, and it'll be curious to see if he has any plans with that. We're actually gonna quickly take a break, get ready to talk to Pack Luck in just a few minutes here, or just a few moments. And hopefully when we're back, we'll be ready to talk to him and get his thoughts heading into this best of 3 series. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rays Sunburst Invitational, brought to you by Webull. Sorry for this quick little hiatus. We were making sure we're getting Pack Luck ready, set up to talk to us, get his thoughts. We're about to head into a best-of-3 series in our finals here for Qualifier 2. We just watched Dane pick up a win against Costa. He'll be going up against Bad Pack Luck, who we'll be talking to in just a moment here. And this is a best-of-3 series using Rays rosters. And speaking of which, I think Pack Luck is ready to talk to us. So let's hop on in and get his thoughts and see what he has to say.
My thoughts is like going into this, honestly didn't think I was gonna make it, but hopefully I can do good and basically like hopefully my pitching can be decent. We'll see what can happen with the hitting side though. We'll see what is gonna happen.
Yeah. So let me ask you, from watching the semifinal matchup you saw between Costa and Dane, it was a very aggressive swinging type of game. Anything you took that you might bring into the final matchup between you and Dane?
Yeah, he was swinging it well. I mean, like, gotta hopefully like make him miss the ball. I don't know. He was pretty locked in there. I mean, like maybe like some more dots. Maybe. I feel like maybe you can get him though. Maybe jam him up. Maybe stuff like that. Hopefully it may work. But yeah. Other than that, this guy's still gotta lock in, I guess.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. This is now a best-of-3 series, so you can only use one starter per game, one unique starter. You can't reuse them. Do you know who you're going to pitch with in game number 1 as of right now, heading into a 3-game series?
I think I'm using Matt's game 1.
Seems about right. That was about what we were going to guess. We've seen a lot of Steve and Matt, so about what I expected. And I guess one last question for you before you let you lock on in. Who do you think has been your MVP as a hitter in your lineup to get to this point? You've made it all the way to the final here. Who has been your batter that you think has been your go-to hitter so far?
I would say Taylor Walls is my go-to hitter, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Hey,
He's been really
that's unexpected, but I usually hear like the Camaneros, the Yandy Diaz, but Taylor Walls, okay. I hear you, especially the switch hitting there. But Pack Luck, we wish you nothing but the best in this final matchup, and we'll talk to you soon. Good luck, bud.
Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck. And there he was. Man, Taylor Walls. That was not the name drop I expected. I love it though. Switch hitter.
It's not like we're getting on Taylor Walls. We're so used to hearing like the Yandy Diaz.
It's always like the big few Cedric Mullins, Yandy. Yeah. But it makes sense. I mean, we're seeing it a lot in how pitchers are approaching those same-handed matchups. Righty, righty, lefty, lefty. You're seeing a lot of the breaking balls and sliders down to the way. It's kind of the name of the game, especially with the whole PCI shrinking discussions that we've seen on the game lately. And we obviously saw a lot of it in our game. So having a switch hitter who never has to deal with those low and away breaking balls is, I think, something a lot of players are going to like. You can keep in your lineup. You don't really have to think about him once. And yeah, he's probably hitting in the lower half of the order, but if he gets on base once or twice for the top guys like Yandy and Junior Caminero, it could be a big deal to chip on those extra runs or two that, you know, eventually add on those big rallies.
Yeah, it could definitely be a table setter, especially roll of the lineup like we saw with the semifinal game just before. But for now, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll get to game 1 of the best of 3 for the Sunburst Invitational Qualifier 2 finals between Dane and Pack Luck. We'll be right back.
And then Shane McClanahan. Unbelievable competitiveness. Fire like no other.
And tonight's American League starting pitcher warming up in the bullpen from the Tampa Bay Rays, Shane McClanahan.
Shane McClanahan made his second consecutive opening day start.
McClanahan throws, swung on a miss, strike 3.
They tightened up, and then now we got to see what the doctors say.
McClanahan is done for the regular season after the team placed him on the 60-day injured list.
Missed 24, 25. When he was healthy, he was among the best left-handed pitchers in the game.
There are ups and downs, right? I mean, you miss what you do every day when you love it as much as these guys do, and certainly Max included him.
People forget how good this guy was. Really good. There's a lot of, thinking going along, in those 2 years of not being out there doing what you love to do.
He struck him out.
He sets the tone. The body of work that he's put together in the big leagues as a major league starter really just speaks for itself.
He strikes out the side here in the 6th inning.
The last few years have been quite challenging on me as a person, with these injuries and some family matters. And so, I feel like a bit more of a complete player and need to grow up a little bit. And so I'm pretty proud of that evolution as I've had as player.
Bullpen Wednesday. Boy, were they excited about what they saw. It was 95 with control and all his pitches.
What was the conversations like, and what you whisper to Kyle and Joe, who I know have been such a key part of this process to rehab you and get you back to this point where you're ready to take a major league mound?
I said we effing did it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rays Sunburst Invitational. This is Qualifier 2. We're going to be seeing the finals here. Oh, should mention, this is also presented by Webull. And we have our finals in store here, a best-of-3 series in store between Dane and Packluck. Two players that have made it all the way through this qualifier to see if they can cement a spot. St. Pete going down to Tampa for our finals with our final 4 players. Scuffy, how are you feeling heading on into this best-of-3 series?
Feeling good. This is their chance right now between Dane and Packluck to clinch a spot to play for $12,000. So that is big. Not only that, to be at the Live Land finale, there's nothing like it to be at the Live Land finale, especially for the players. I mean, for us, it's always fun to see, especially at this type of level for MLB, the show, and esports. So a lot is on the line. The pressure, I'm sure the nerves are kicking in for both of these guys. It's going to be very interesting to see how game 1 unfolds, right? Game 1 definitely tells a lot, especially on the pitching side. I really want to see how things affect on the pitching side, but see who goes to the bullpen first, because that could have an effect. You don't want your opponent, especially in the best-of-3 series, you don't want their opponent to see too many looks of the bullpen, right? Because then they can get accustomed what type of pattern you might be throwing or such. So it's going to be very interesting to see, and that's kind of like the X factor I'm seeing right now is game 1. How long can your starter go?
Definitely a big deal. Who gets going offensively first? Who kind of gets the bats going? We obviously just saw Dane play a game. He might be a little bit more warmed up with the bats. It's always a fun game in the best-of-3 series because obviously you have 3 games in store. If you missed our last qualifier, we saw a blowout in game 1 and then a crazy back and forth in game 2 that extended the series to a best-of-3. And then by the time the game 3 happened, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but one team kind of ran away with it and kept the bats going in game number 3. So you kind of got a different game with the best-of-3 series. You've got time to learn approaches and how people are attacking you on the mound and at the plate. You have time to learn different pitchers since you're going to be facing the relievers a couple times throughout the way. So it's always fun to sit down, watch a best-of-3 series, especially after you get to see that one singular game. It's a fun little, almost warm-up to the best-of-3 where you can kind of really see these Rays tournaments, in my opinion, in their most fun scenarios.
Oh, hands down. And if you're just tuning in for the first time here tonight, we were mentioning the best-of-3. This is our finals matchup, but what are they doing? How we are playing? It's Rays versus Rays roster. This is the live roster that they're using. It's not Diamond Dynasty. These attributes only go up to 99. Not your typical Diamond Dynasty where it goes to maybe 100 to 125. This is truly the same roster. Everything's very even here, and you just see a lot of different things, different scenarios that pop up here in the Sunburst Invitational. You'll see hit and runs, you'll see sacrifice bunts, and much more. It's going to be, we've been seeing intentional walks. We've been seeing the Bonds treatment for Junior Caminero and Yandy Diaz, if I might say. But it's been a fun night so far, like you mentioned, with the appetizer that we had with the semifinal matchup. But this is our main event. Qualifier number 2. Packluck versus Dane for a spot for the Live Land finale and their chance of winning $12,000.
Yeah, it's going to be fun stuff. I just want to see what chaos we have in store. Last time we actually saw a Chandler Simpson, I believe it was a no doubt home run over a wall last time, which was, in my opinion, my favorite moment of the entire thing. Those type of things you don't really see often in these Rays games. So I want to see some crazy no doubt homers from players you wouldn't expect. I'm excited to see the big moments that we happen. Obviously, we saw big rallies. We saw lefty homer for Cedric Mullins the last game. We saw a tank for Junior Caminero. Curious to see who is going to be that player. Taylor Walls is currently on watch after talking to Pack Luck there.
Especially for Pack Luck, yep. So we'll see how he does for this game. No pressure, though. Regardless, it's going to be fun. It's fun you mentioned Chandler Simpson, see if he gets a home run. I actually earlier today gave up a home run to Chandler Simpson in the BR game. I was like, maybe it's a omen. Maybe it's an omen.
Yeah.
We do see that here tonight. But yeah, from last qualifier, you mentioned before there was a lot of offense. I just with the new update with the strike zone, I still think we might see more a pitcher's duel than we see for the 10-20 run type of game here.
Yeah, definitely. I think you see that paired with the recent discussion on the PCI shrinking on low and away pitches. Yep. I think now that it's been like officially like confirmed that the shrinkage still is in the game, players, especially in those righty-righty, lefty-lefty matchups, they're going to be fully expecting that. So they're likely to be seeing a lot of those sliders down and away. You can see when Baker comes into the game versus Junior Caminero, I was almost shocked we didn't see it more that last game. You'll see a lot of those sliders down and away against Yandy Diaz. You'll see it with the lefty starters whenever there are a couple lefties in the lineup like Jonathan and Rhonda. You'll be seeing a lot of those. I want to see, we saw it back, this is a drop all the way back to the Creator tournament that we had. I want to see if anyone just fully commits and ambushes down and away in those lefty-lefty, righty-righty at bats. Just ambush, don't even think about it, expect that slider and just camp it fully.
We saw Playful just be, he uses it daily. And he even mentioned that. He was champion after all for the Creator Showdown. And it just showed, he mentioned that he knows what's coming. He'll just start ambushing if he feels like he needs to, especially like you mentioned with the PCI shrinkage, and see if it. And remember, it goes, if you guess correctly, it's a Hall of Fame, not legend PCI from there. So they are currently making the game. We'll get to the game very shortly. We should be jumping there momentarily, but yeah, game one is definitely going to be a fun matchup between here, Pack Luck and Dane. And like I said, I'm very interested to see how the pitching goes.
Yeah, you'll probably be seeing Steven Matz versus Steven Matz starting us off. Probably see some lines with only a couple lefties in there that are preparing for the lefty pitcher on the mound. And you're like we saw in that first game, if you're Dane, you would love to get 6 innings out of Steven Matz. Like, that is such an oddity in these games. You celebrated, I feel like, in these previous tournaments, getting like 4 innings with a starting pitcher with how some of these games have gone. But now, if you're able to get 5+ with Steven Matz, that could be big, especially in the best of 3 series, like you mentioned before, where you'll be seeing relievers multiple times. I'm curious to see if he can kind of pitch the same way and find the same success now going up against Pack Luck instead of Costa.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think they're having a little technical difficulties with matching up, so we'll get to a short break once again, and we'll get back. Once we get back, we'll have game 1 of the finals for qualifier number 2 between Pack Luck versus Dane.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rays Sunburst Invitational brought to you by Webull. We are just about to get into our best of 3 series for the finals here in Qualifier 2. We got Dane, we got Bad Pack Luck. They're going head to head in this 3-game series, and they're actually getting into their game now. And here we go. Game number 1 in this best of 3 finals. Dane versus Pack Luck. Here we go. Looks like we have Steven Matz on the bump. And fully expecting both of them to have Steven Matz on the mound. And Yandy Diaz once again in the leadoff spot for Dane at the plate here in the top of the first.
Yeah, we saw this last game, and we saw him get a leadoff hit as well in the last game. We'll see what we can do here. Remember, Pack Luck, since he won the winner's bracket, will be home in game 1 and 3 here. So he does have home field advantage within this series. So this would be a big game to get if he could get it right here. But
yeah,
already down 3-0.
Yeah. 3-0 count to Dane at the plate here. Oh, that's going to mess with my brain. That's a strike. Not used to that being a strike in this game. 3-1 count now to Yandy Diaz. It's going to be a very early foul ball. Will make this count full. Packluck battling back down 3-0. The pitch from Steven Matz. That's rope to left. Just foul. Just early on that low changeup. So once again, a full count pitch to Yandy Diaz. Perfect. Crush to left field. And it's gone. 383-foot tank off the bat of Yandy Diaz. And Dane is picking up right where he left off in our previous game. 1-0 lead and another perfect. And back-to-back swings on back-to-back pitches.
You can't ask for any better start right there for Dane. Get a perfect in 2 straight at-bats to lead off this game, including a solo home run. And that that just missed going fair. But that was just good hitting from Dane, from Yandy Diaz. He was able, Packluck was able to get back in the count, got that changeup for the second strike, and tried to go with the sinker to mix up the speeds there. But Dane was able to get there. However, Caminero will get the double play here. Good response here from Packluck.
Yeah, big pitch right there. Try to minimize the damage here. What started off as 2 perfects, including a homer, quickly turned into 2 outs here. 1 run on the board, of course, for Dane. But getting Caminero out on a double play is kind of a big deal. He is someone who is one of the feared 2 batters in the lineup that is getting pitched around pretty consistently in these games. That's another perfect. This time lefty off the bat of Cedric Mullins.
That's
so
2
another
perfects with lefties. 1 for Aranda, 1 here for Mullins, already off Matz. I'm curious, after seeing Matz, I mean, Dane, this is where I feel like he's kind of already warmed up. He had a game just before, and he was able to see Steven Matz, so maybe he has a little good feel of where the release is coming from, because look, he's taking a lot more pitches than we saw just previously.
And you're seeing everything low, everything in that lower part of the zone, right at the knees. It's now a full count here to DeLuca with 2 outs here. Dane looking to add on to that 1-0 lead. The pitch ends up a little high, but that's going to be grounded right to third. So Dane puts up a 1 spot. Honestly, a lot of great swings in that first inning. But is ahead 1-0 here. And now Packluck has a chance to respond. Make this a tie ball game, only needing 1. Junior Caminero in the leadoff spot, by the way. That's going to be perfect up the middle. See the delayed feeds. This will be a perfect single. I'm going to predict the future. Look at that. Not a perfect. 102 off the bat. And Junior Caminero with the leadoff single for Packluck at the plate here.
Yeah, good response right there. And Caminero just basically putting your best bat right into the leadoff spot, and your second one right after that. So that is going to be Yandy Diaz. That's going to miss down low for the first ball. But let's see if Packluck could do the same here. That's going to be ripped, but going foul. Just a little early there, Scott.
Just a little early. Maybe the 1-1 count. Man, another early swing. He is dialed up for those inside pitches. 1-2 pitch from Steven Matz. He's not going to bite. Make this a 2-2 count. Won't get him to chase the low curveball. Dane holding on to a 1-0 lead here in the first. That's another early swing, this time on a low circle change. Very early once again for Packluck. He's going to get in the way, change it, but he's going to take that. Makes this a full count here. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Ground ball. It's going to go foul. So once again, 3-2. Yandy Diaz looking to add something here. Perfect to center field. It's it high. It's it deep. It caught right on the track. That'll be our allowed first out here for Packluck. And
that
the
was
bottom of the
1 or
first.
2 off the bat right there. Just fortunately just went dead center there. But he follows it up with Veranda. That's going to be a single up the middle. We have a man on first and second now with 1 out. So far, some good swings here from Packluck so far in the bottom first.
And up comes Taylor Walls in the cleanup spot for him.
Wow. I didn't expect it. I was expecting him down, like, he'd be like a table setter in the bottom of the lineup, but he's putting him right in the cleanup spot here.
That's going to be a swing. He just is underneath that PCI, so it's in it very high to right field. Runner will not advance. So we'll still have 2 runners on, 1 on first, 1 on second. For Johnny DeLuca here. For Packluck. Down 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. That's roped to left field. It's going to get down. We got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. Packluck responds. It cashes in with 1 run on the board. But you got 2 runners on still. 2 outs.
He's just squaring up the ball right now. I mean, he's making good swings, and he's getting the results from it. That's a... I know that's going foul, but it feels like he was jumping on that pitch right there. But he has 2 big runners in scoring position. That's ripped, and that should find some grass. Does that get over the wall? It doesn't, but that will be a 2-run double for Cedric Mullins here for Packluck, and he takes the 3-1 lead in the bottom of the first.
What a swing. Low slider. Just caught that middle third of the plate a little too much, even though it ended up just below the zone. And Cedric Mullins makes him pay lefty-lefty. So 3-1 now. Packluck on top here in the bottom of the first. And a lot of great swings connecting here for him. It's exactly how you'd want to respond after that first. But very quickly, 0-2 count here with 2 outs. Nick Fortes in that bottom part of the order. Gonna look at another pitch inside. That's going to be fouled off down the line. Makes this still a 1-2 count. Already 19 pitches out of Steven Matz and Dane on the mound. That's going to be another foul ball. 20 pitch first inning here. Already some of the longest innings we've seen out of Matz and Dane. That's ripped up the middle. That's going to find some grass. Mullins won't even try to get it home. That's going to hit the cutoff man. Make that 4-1 Packluck here in the first.
Much different outing right now from Steven Matz from the previous game that we saw with Dane. And here, already 21 pitches. And there's 4 runs off the board. And not only that, 2-out hitting. We mentioned before how crucial 2-out hitting is. That is his 3rd run with 2 outs in this inning alone. Does that get down? No, I don't think so. I think Simpson will be over there to hover for out number 3. But great response from Packluck in the bottom of first to put up 4 after giving up 1 in the top of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 spot is big. Already getting that pitch count high on Matz as well. We saw Dane had a lot of success last game going 6 innings with Steven Matz. But on the other hand, Packluck does have to get outs on the mound. We saw a big inning out of Dane in that first last time around. Looks like he just had hit a perfect single to get that first runner on. This is also roped right to the center fielder, though. So that'll be our first out in the inning here. If you're Dane, you'd love to string together a couple of hits, get some runners on with the bottom part of the order. For that Yandy Diaz in the leadoff spot. That's also hit just off on that PCI. That'd be a Taylor Walls fly out here with 2 outs.
A little quick work right here for Packluck. Trying to get out of this inning harmless here, and it looks like he will as Simpson's going to roll over right to second baseman. That's going to be the 3rd out. And Packluck puts up here a 0 here in the top of the second.
Yeah, aggressive swings out of both sides. You're seeing a lot of balls in play, of course, not a lot of strikeouts, but you're seeing on the side of Packluck, he is very aggressive on the inside velo. He fouled off a ton of pitches inside in those righty-lefty at-bats the last inning. I think him seeing all those pitches just kept him alive to the point where he eventually saw something to hit, and he was able to string together a bunch of hits that last inning. So after pitching a 0, finding a way to keep Dane at 1, now you got Chandler Simpson leading you off. You have a chance to maybe get things going. That's going to be dribbled up the middle, Chandler Simpson fashion right there. You got 99 speed, 99 steal on first with nobody out for the top of the order in Junior Caminero.
And now you got Caminero to deal with in the top of your order. That's always fun. That's going to be in there for a strike. We'll see if Simpson goes on any of these pitches here. He's going to keep him at first, but it doesn't matter. That's a perfect. And Packluck puts on 2 more as Junior Caminero hits a 2-run shot for Packluck. What a swing.
Just capitalizing that mistake. Yeah, beautiful swing to sit back on that curveball, get a perfect on it. And we talk about it a bit. Those guys like Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero, they're such big bats. There's a reason they've been getting the 4-finger intentional walk the entire time. Because mistakes like that get punished pretty often by those guys. And that's a big 2-run homer right here. So still nobody out here in the second. And you got Yandy Diaz up. That's rope to right field. Is it caught? It is, though. It's a good swing, but right to the right fielder. And Dane's finally got his first out in the inning.
Yeah, but that was that was just a good swing from there from Packluck. Look at these swings. Both those outs squared up. I mean, they are dotted pitches as well. But still, great swings from Packluck just going right to the fielders there. It feels like he warmed up instantly in the bottom of first.
Yeah. Yeah, he is looking good. So many swings connecting right now. That is another perfect. This time the left field. Does it find a gap? It is off the wall. So Taylor Walls, the guy he talked about, who he really loved at the plate, hitting a perfect 2-out double here in the cleanup spot. And the hits are connecting. They're stringing together one by one for Packluck at the plate here. Steven Matt's up to 32 pitches as well. So quite the contrast from Dane's first game. That's roped right to Caminero. So another loud out for Packluck at the plate, and he's up 6-1.
Very curious.
Heading to the top of the third.
What was the average exit velo for Packluck in that half inning?
I'd guess like 95 miles an hour. Everything was just torched that inning. He was all over the ball, every single out. But we saw Dane do the exact same thing in the first. So I'm curious to see how he responds here. Down 5. Obviously, you might not be able to get 5 in one inning, but you'd love to chip away here. But quickly, 1-2 count to Yandy. You seen that aggressive inside slider? Trying to get him to bite with 2 strikes. The pitch from Steven Matz. Perfect. Right to the second baseman. Man, what a swing, but right to a glove.
Yeah, nothing you do there. Did the best you can right there. Just goes right to a field. And look again, perfect. But this time from Ronda, this finds him whole. That's the second perfect single from Ronda.
Yeah, another good swing. We've seen Dane, he's putting up good swings. He's had some hits connect. He just had 1 or 2 rallies or one rally in the first. So he wasn't able to really capitalize as much as he'd want to. But this is probably a big at bat right here. Junior Caminero up with the runner on. Looking for anything. That's going to be grounded right to third, though. That's going to be an inning double play. I was about to mention, look out for that changeup a little higher. Instead, he locates it right at the bottom of the zone, and he gets that ground ball double play.
Yeah, we saw with the semifinal matchup, Dane used that circle change to get 2 double plays. Crucial double plays right here. Packluck does the same. Able to get Caminero, big bat in the lineup to ground it out for a double play, get out of the inning, and then he starts up the bottom of the third with a single up the middle from Cedric Mullins. When's the time that you try to go to a different approach? Because I feel like Packluck is kind of locked in against Steven Matz right now. As I say that, but he gets out. But still, I mean, he has almost 10 hits against Steven Matz already in this game with 6 runs across the board.
And what's crazy is he only has 35 pitches. It's not even like an insanely high pitch count. He's just swinging at a lot. Dane is giving him enough to hit, though, and he's making him pay for it. Yeah, and I don't know what you do. Everything has been in the lower part of the zone, and man, even that swing, it's going to find grass. It's going to dunk right to right center. Ben Williamson gets on, then another hit for Packluck. 2 runners on, and here comes Chandler Simpson. What is he going to cook up here in the lefty-lefty matchup? He's going to swing down the sinker.
This might be the last at bat, I'm going to guess. Especially with the Caminero and Yandy Diaz due up next. Unless this is a double play, but it's going to be hard to get a double play off Chandler Simpson.
Yep. He does get another swinging strike. Makes it an 0-2. That's going to be very late once again. So that down and in sinker lefty-lefty there. Got 3 later swings. So he does get Chandler Simpson out, but now you got Junior Caminero, lefty versus righty. You called your shot, and you were correct, Scuffy.
Yeah.
New pitcher in Brian Baker. 2 runners on here, though, with 2 outs for Packluck. Looking to add some insurance here.
You're down by 5. You don't want him getting more because he's getting to that territory, especially being the bottom and third. You had to put one of your best relievers in the game now to shut it down, keep it at 5 runs, and then let your bats take over. But that's ripped. Does that have enough? That's carrying, but I don't think it does it? And it does! Junior Caminero pushes one over the right field wall for a 3-run shot to make it a 9-1 game. And once again, 2-out hitting has been crucial so far here tonight.
Yeah, and that's even if Junior Caminero is a little late on it, he still has the power to hit it out to right center. What a swing. It's 9-1 in a blink of an eye. So now if you're Dane, you kind of got to crawl back in this game. You're heading to that 4th inning where that mercy rule starts to come into play. You're down 8. You need to just chip away. You've put up swings. It's about time you start cashing in those rounds. That's another good swing. It's going to find the glove. Johnny DeLuca roped that. Just not enough launch angle on that.
Yeah, Shrink didn't on. He still square that up, too.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because we've seen both players. They've strung together good swings. They've strung together some consecutive hits, but Dane just hasn't had the home run power. He hasn't cashed in some of those rallies. He had a big ground ball double play that ended the previous inning. Does it finally click for him here in the 4th? Down 8. And a reminder, this is the best of 3 series. There's still plenty of series left. Game 1 here is just the beginning, but also potentially at a point of maybe ending soon with a 9-1 lead for Packluck. Here, 2 outs at the top of the 4th. Dane hasn't really gotten much going. 43 pitches on the count. Stephen Metz. Another 2-2 pitch is going to end up outside. So now 3-2, 2 outs. The pitch to Dane off the plate inside. So a 2-out walk here. Ben Williamson coming up now. He's going to take a strike down and in. It's still messing with my brain seeing those as strikes. That's going to end up low, make this a 1-1 count. Does Dane have a rally in him? Currently down 8. Packluck needs to hold a 10-run lead to get that mercy rule win, but that is roped to left field by Williamson. He's going to find some grass, so another good swing for Dane. 2 runners on. Can he capitalize with the rally here in the 4th?
This is a big spot right here for Dane. Just you try and look for anything right here, especially since it's an 8-run game right now. But that's not going to do it, as Simpson's going to catch that almost to the warning track. And we are still a 9-1 game, bottom 4, and the heart of the lineup coming up here for Packluck. That's going to be ripped, but that's going to be right to the first baseman for the first out. But we are 2 runs away here, Scan, and we could see game 1 being over very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. A good swing from Jonathan Aranda to even start off the inning, too. But that is our first out. If you're Dane, you need to keep this game at 9-1 or 10-1 just to stay alive. But if Packluck scores 2 in this half inning, then he gets the mercy rule win. So you got to be careful on the mound here with Baker. Got to make sure you keep those pitches low like we talked about earlier. Make sure they end up right at the knees. Or you're kind of threatening that home run swing that we've seen a bit from Packluck at the plate here. He's going to take an inside circle change. That is going to make this a full count here with 1 out. That is roped foul. All over these inside pitches in these lefty-righty matchups. That's going to be another foul ball, this time on a circle change. Very early timing. So another full count pitch. Roped up the middle. Right to the center fielder Mullins, though. So a long at bat, but ends up for a second out. Up comes Johnny DeLuca.
Oh, no.
Ooh. And the Olay past Caminero at third. This will be a little 2-out hit, and now you got to be careful because all it takes is 1 swing. And up comes Cedric Mullins. Home run here ends this game for Packluck. So you got to be careful here, especially in a righty-lefty matchup. If you're Dane on the mound, Gonna take a low circle change, make this a 2-0 count. Roped right to Aranda. He's gonna step on first. So Dane does stay alive. A scoreless fourth inning there, but still 9-1 pack luck as we head to the top of the fifth.
And that was the first scoreless inning fully from both teams. And that's what runners going to be moving. Looks like Simpson was on first base there, and he's going to be in there safely. So it looks like Simpson got on to lead off the inning. Now we have the top of the order of Yandy Diaz. Check swings there. That's going to be a strike to make it 1-1.
Yeah, I think this at bat is kind of a big deal if you're Dane at the plate. You've put together some rallies. You've gotten runners on, but now you've got Yandy Diaz up against the lefty. That's going to be roped but foul. I'll make this a 2-2 count. Gonna take a low sinker there. Full count here. Curious to see how Packlook tackles this. Full count to Yandy. He's going to go low and in circle change. It's going to be roped to the gap, though. Great swing out of Dane is going to keep him kind of alive in this game. Make this a 9-2 ball game. But you got heart of the order coming up. You got Jonathan Aranda coming up lefty-lefty. Cabanero on deck. You would love for Aranda to get on here if you're Dane. That's crushed to right field. Just once again finds a glove. So Aranda's going to line out, and you have that open base at first for Cabanero. Does Packlook even pitch to him here?
Be very interesting to see. No, he goes right to Brian Baker. He's just looking to get out of this inning. I think he sees as well. Like, he knows how good Dane's at hitting, right? So he wants to limit the damage as well. It called me crazy. It's a 7-run lead, but still, he wants to limit the damage. He does not want Dane to get back in this game because the offensive side could be very momentum heavy, where you could score in bunches. And right there, he gets the second alley here in the top of the fifth.
Definitely big out number 1 of the inning, or out number 2 of the inning. But now you got another big bat in Cedric Mullins, who does very well in these righty-lefty matchups here. He's going to take 2 balls here, make this a 2-0 count. Once again, this is game 1 of this best-of-3 finals. Winner cements a spot to go down to St. Pete for our finals. Cedric Mullins is going to take this one inside to make this a 3-1 count. That'll be fouled off, so full count here with 2 outs. The pitch to Packluck, and he is just all over these pitches, even inside. He's just missing that great take on a low slider. He's going to take that, make this 2 runners on. Now, for Johnny DeLuca, now fully expect that.
Yeah, you're getting doses of sliders right here.
Down and away.
That's
sliders
for sure.
And circle changes. Yep. The 1-1 pitch. Take it for ball 2. Good take. Good patience out of Packluck here. Or Dane at the plate. My bad. He's going to ground out the third, though. That ends our inning. So once again, Dane puts up a rally. Gets 2 runners on. But grounds out and ends the inning. But is down 7 now. So Packluck gets to that 12 spot. He has himself a mercy rule win here in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's just 1 run's not going to cut it. You need more when you have runners in scoring position, especially when you're down by 7. You're kind of looking for that 2 or 3 run spot here. But Packluck able to limit to only 1 run so far. I mean, 2 runs, 1 run for that particular inning was very big.
Yeah, and another leadoff runner. Single through the infield. Nick Fortes is going to get on base. And yeah, we've seen a lot of the sliders. Seen a lot of the changeups. That one is crushed to left field, though. At a whole 89 miles an hour. So 2 runners on. Nobody out. This time for Chandler Simpson. Dane is going to go to the bullpen once again. In comes Griffin Jacks. First time seeing him today. 2 runners on, nobody out. 1 swing. Could mean mercy rule win here for Packluck in game 1.
You try a bunt here? I know you're up by 7, but you have...
That would be diabolical. I love the thought.
But you have Cabanero, and then you have Yandy Diaz up next.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1 out. You have 2 chances for your 2 best bats.
That's bloop to center field. It's going to get down, but he's tagging.
Oh,
he'll throw it third right away. Wow. That is one of the singles of all time for Chandler Simpson. And now, bases loaded, Nobody out. Perfect to the gap. It's going to score 1. It's going to score 2. Chandler Simpson is flying around those base paths. Make that a game 1 mercy rule win for Packluck. Man, that inning just kind of got chaotic there to end it there. That little single to center. Perfect off the bat of Caminero for the 3 runs. And he picks up a 12-2 win.
Yeah, it kind of unraveled. Well, I mean, right after that, and then just the unfortunate couldn't get the runner at third there to leave it to bases loaded. Caminero already 3 for 3 in game 1. Gets another crucial hit, this time perfect in the gap to win the game and get game 1 under the belt for Packluck. I mean, it looked like if we go back from the beginning of the game, right? Top 1.
Yeah.
Dane was grooving. He started off with 2 perfects. One being a Yandy Diaz home run, and then he got a perfect for Aranda, and then he got another hit. It was first, second. And then Caminero, he grounds out in his double play and just shifted that whole inning and shifted the.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought Dane was going to get more there, and then come Packluck in the bottom of first, scores 3 2-out runs. And gets a 4-1 lead, and he didn't look back from there.
Yeah. Packluck just had the foot on the gas that entire time. Did a good job of getting out of trouble. Honestly, did a great job as well of minimizing the home run. Dane was able to get a few hits, get a couple runners on, but had a few double plays that kind of stalled some of those rallies, and that was probably some of the biggest difference makers in that entire game. He was able to pitch a good distance into the game with Steven Matz as well, so we didn't have to go to that bullpen until the middle innings. And the key in that last inning there, you got to look back to that Chandler Simpson bloop single that almost looks like it would be a fly out to center field, potentially changes this game even staying alive. So the ball lands and Dane can't get the right throw off, so he has to rethrow to third base, and the runner gets to third base in the first place, and that sets up not Chandler Simpson, Junior Caminero up with the bases loaded, and he gets a perfect ball to the gap. And of course, with Chandler Simpson on first, he's scoring easily. So crazy sequence of events to happen in just an inning to
I would
cement
even go
a mercy rule win.
Before that, when he brought in Baker in the top of the half with Caminero with a man on first and second, tried to limit the damage, and he was able to do that. Dane was able to only score 1 run there, kept that to 9-2. He was able to get the rally that he wanted there in the bottom of the 5th and end the game. So he pulled every plug right there in game 1 for Packluck. So you just got to give him the credit. And now he has home field advantage. I mean, he will be away for game 2, but there's a game 3, and he'll be the home team there. And that's what you want if you're Packluck right now.
That is always what you want to see in these best of 3 series. Get the bats established right away, especially if you can get a mercy rule win. All momentum skews in your way, and you could love to carry that into a game number 2. Now, we got to talk about Dane a little bit. He did put up great swings that game. He just was not able to connect to rallies the same way. He didn't find the home run ball really that game. He had some bad luck with some hard hit outs right to fielders. Now is your time to respond. Keep up the swings like you have in game number 2. Try to be the one to set the precedent offensively here in game 2. You'll be seeing a different pitcher. No more Steven Matz in this series. I'm guessing you'll be seeing a good bit of Drew Rasmussen here in game number 2. See if that makes any adjustments in the lineups. You see some new bats at the plate. Maybe some of the lefties like Jake Fraley making the starting lineup for guys. That is maybe some sort of setup to maybe turn the tide in your direction after what was a game you want to forget in game 1.
Yeah, the biggest half inning is coming up for Dane. That's the top of first. You want that 0. You want that 0 go right into hitting in the bottom of first. Get something going. Get the momentum in your favor. Especially being down 1 in the series. You want to get something going. With him, he has a very even keel approach. I mean, you look at him when playing this game, it's all the motions are the same. So I have no doubt that he'll be just fine for game 2 and able to come back and fight.
Yeah, it's a long series. I know a lot of people will see a game 1 mercy rule win and they'll think, oh, it's series over. Anything can happen. We saw this last time in the first qualifier. We saw a Alex Cakill mercy rule win in game number 1. But we saw a crazy game in game number 2. It was back and forth. But Jeter, who he went up against in those finals, managed to pick up the win in game 2. to keep the series alive for a 3-game series. So game 2, obviously, it's a new slate, new chance to turn the tide your way. And we're going to actually take a quick couple-minute break before we hop on into this next game and maybe chat with the winner and get their thoughts heading on into game number 2 of the series. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Make sure you hang around because we got a great series in store.
Something for me? Let me see. I can open? Too big, too bigger. Let me see what he got. Oh my God. I'm shocked. Wow, that's unbelievable. Wow. I don't know if we say anything. I'm shocked.
Back into deep left, and that baby's gone. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. To the wall, he leaps and he makes the catch. Oh, what a catch by Taylor Walls. The book on the run, and he got it. Deep to
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rays Sunburst Invitational brought to you by Webull. I'm Scan, and I'm here with Scuffy. We just saw a crazy game number 1 win in our final best of 3 series today. We just saw a big win out of Packluck going up against Dane, and we're actually going to get his thoughts after winning game number 1. Get Packluck's thoughts on this best of 3 series, what's going on to game number 2. Packluck, how are we feeling after that game 1 showing?
Yeah, I would say I'm feeling pretty confident going into game 2, or to be honest. Definitely feeling confident.
Yeah, you were able to, I mean, hitting wise, you were able to just go left and right all throughout down the lineup. I gotta say, you mentioned Taylor Walls. He got a little perfect, I think, double, but the top of the lineup, you put Junior Camarero, you put the best bat at the top, and he went 4 for 4 for you. I mean, and came up clutch to walk it off. How was that? Are you running that? How have you been running that lineup oh my God, I can't talk today. All this time throughout the qualifier by putting Caminero in the top spot? Because you don't typically see that. You see him in the 3rd or 4th spot.
Yeah, the reason why I put him first, the best bats I feel like, in my opinion, the first batter's got to be the best batter, in my opinion. I feel like that has to be like that, to be honest.
And did you make any adjustments that game? We saw you were crushing a lot of the low pitches that end up in the zone. Did you make any adjustments at the plate to get the hitting down eventually, or were you just comfortable with the plate right off the rip in inning number 1?
I feel like, yeah, I was just comfortable at the plate in inning number 1. I felt loose playing a friendly before this, and I feel like I was feeling loose with the plate.
And before we let you head off, yeah, I was gonna say, do we know which pitcher you're using in game number 2 here?
I'm using Rasmussen this game, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be Rasmussen across the board, I believe. That's why we figured. But hey, you got game 1 under the belt. Now you have home field advantage if it goes to 3. But yeah, I'm sure you're looking to end in game 2. So best of luck to you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, good luck. All right. So that was Packluck. You got to hear his quick thoughts heading on into the game. They're going to be getting into their game in just a moment. I think you're definitely spot on. Rasmussen versus Rasmussen is what I would expect heading into it. And I mean, he talked about he played a friendly beforehand. He definitely showed the bats were warmed up. He was confident at the plate. He was swinging aggressively, and it worked out with a Mercy Rule win that we just saw in game 1.
So, yeah, I mean, it just kept on coming for him. As at the moment, like I said, I feel like the first thing was the big momentum factor. To get that double play, not let Dane get more than 1 run in that top of the half, and then respond the way he did in the bottom half to get the 4 runs. Not only that, 3 coming off 2 outs is very big. I mean, you get those 2 out runs, your confidence starts to increase in a little bit by bit, and you get a little bit more comfortable as you move on throughout the game.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see if we can keep the offense going this game. I mentioned it a little bit before. We're seeing right-handed starting pitchers this time around, at least most likely for both sides. Drew Rasmussen will be likely seeing versus both sides. Is going to cause for any changes in the lineup, so you can see any lefties making these starting appearances now. We've seen a lot of the righties with Steven Matz everywhere. We've seen a lot of the guys like DeLuca and Fortes. Curious to see if there'll be any changes there for the other lefty bats in that lower part of the order.
Yeah, do we see a Richie Palacios or something like that?
Palacios was a big bat last time around that we saw a lot.
Because remember, you only have Seymour. You only have 1 lefty in the bullpen. You can't bring starters out from the bullpen, so you can't bring out McClanahan. You can't bring out Matz. So that's definitely a strategy to go. Or do you even, if you're Packluck, do you even go with a different lineup? You felt so good with that lineup in game 1. Do you try to not mix it up because it worked for you? There's a lot of questions going in, but we'll see here in game 2. But that first half inning for Dane is going to be very, very critical. Just to get that 0, to get back to hitting and do the work. He made a great swings in game 1. Some of them just didn't fall for him.
Yeah. He's gotten the runners on first and second. He had multiple rallies that he was stringing together, maybe 1 run. I mean, there was 1 rally. We got 1 run. But the big situation for him now will be if he could actually capitalize on those. Can he maybe get the big homer? Can he keep those innings alive and string together more hits? Because that was definitely the difference there in game 1.
Yeah.
He's put up good swings, but just didn't capitalize. So can he capitalize right away in game number 2? Maybe put that pressure on Packluck, make him play catch up. We talk about it a bit in these esports events. Sometimes there's an advantage to being that away team, being able to hit right away. He doesn't get that because Dane is now the home team. But if you're Pack Luck, you had a great game 1 as the home team. Now you get to start off after a Mercy Rule win and start hitting in the first. It could be a real demoralizing blow to start off game 2 after a Mercy Rule loss if you're Dane and giving up 3, 4, 5 runs in that first. It almost feels like really difficult to come back after such a tough situation. So this first inning is going to be kind of big, not just for Dane if he could get going offensively. If Pack Luck can kind of put even more pressure on Dane, because this is obviously a 3-game series, but Dane has none more to lose.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll definitely see what happens there. They should be getting into their game 2 very shortly. So we'll have that for you. But once again, we want to welcome you into the Sunburst Invitational, brought to you by Webull. This is the qualifier number 2. And remember, they are playing for a spot to clinch to go to the live land finale and play up to for $12,000 here. It's so far we have one competitor. We have Alex Kill making his way. Now by the end of tonight, we'll have our second of 4 to play in the live land finale. And remember, if you want to play in the Sunburst Invitational, be sure to register for qualifier number 3. I believe that's within 2 weeks or so. I think in 2 weeks. Quote me if I'm wrong. I believe it's on the 9th and 10th. And then the finalist for qualifier number 3 is on the 14th.
Yeah, you're right. The final is in 2 weeks. And there are 4 total qualifiers to sign up for. 4 players are going to be going down to Tampa in person for finals for the $12,000 prize, like we mentioned before. Everyone is just trying to play for one spot at a time in each qualifier. We've already seen Alex Kill cement his spot to go down to Tampa already. We have ourselves a new face in store today, whether that is Dane or Pack Luck, 2 players who have not been in that position before. But Pack Luck is only 1 win away, of course. Dane needs to go reverse sweep. I mean, we got some interesting scenarios here. Dane would be the first person from Florida to cement the spot to go down to Tampa if he does manage to win these next 2 games, which obviously has some interesting implications. He obviously already went through a previous matchup. Costa and Dane played in the qualifier finals, qualifier 3 last year. We saw that matchup end up going in Dane's favor. But either way, we have a new face heading down to Tampa, which is exciting. And we have a best of 3 series where I assume they're getting into the game, and we'll be getting into that in just a moment. So thank you guys for being patient with us. And in case you are joining, there are drops on as well. They should be on for the remainder of the stream. You can get free packs from watching. Exclamation point drops will give you all the information there in the chat. Exclamation point play in the chat will give you the link to sign up to the next qualifiers if you want to sign up for qualifier 3 or qualifier 4. I can't recommend signing up for them enough, whether you're thinking you're going to actually make a really good run in this or just want to play in something competitive. These events are really cool that the Rays run. So if you want to sign up, you can check out those things right there. And these things are a fun time. I mean, we've all talked about it, Scuffy, from the watching these games to going in person. It really is a blast. And speaking of which, we got game number 2 in store.
Yep, game number 2 in store. And here we go. And look at different lineup. Yep, we do have a different lineup, but Caminero still leading off here for Pack Luck. But we have Jake Fraley and Aranda right behind him with the 2 lefties right there.
So here we go. Game number 2 in our qualifier 2 finals. Pack Luck is your home team here. Dane is up at the plate. And there's Drew Rasmussen, and he is going to promptly give up a perfect home run on the second pitch of the ball game, the junior Caminero. And it is very quickly 1-0 Pack Luck.
Yeah, that's not what you want in there for Dane, but for Pack Luck, that is exactly what you want. A perfect home run, the 5th straight hit of the series for Caminero for Pack Luck.
Yeah, he has been unreal in these first 2 games, albeit this game has literally just begun. And this is what you want to see if you're Pack Luck, a big first game win. That's another perfect to the opposite field. Another pitch right on the corner. Make that back-to-back homers for Pack Luck, and he's ahead 2-0.
How about it? Jake Fraley enters the lineup here for game 2 and goes perfect Apple Taco to put him up 2-0. Yeah, he's right back where he started here in game 1.
Yeah, both on pitches down and away. Not an easy feat to do. Going from lefty-righty or righty-righty to lefty-righty. Hitting the ball the opposite way. And deciding to stack the top of the order with the lefties after Junior Caminero. And it's worked out so far. Now you got Aranda up here. He's worked a full count here. The pitch from Rasmussen. And that's going to be laced up the middle. Another hit. 3 straight hits to start off this first inning for Packluck.
Yeah, and now we have Yandy Diaz. This is where you kind of want to be shy from throwing that cutter away. You want to throw that sweeper away, but I feel like Yandy Diaz is the perfect batter right here as he rolls over the sweeper. That should be 2. There's 1. Does it get the next? He does. Big double play there from Dane. But yeah, the one pitch I'll be aware of is don't throw that cutter to Yandy Diaz away.
Yeah, especially not high. He's got that push hitter tendency.
Yep.
He excels at hitting that ball to right field. He has the power to right field. Speaking of power to right field, that's hit hard right through the second base gap. Cedric Mullins once again on base. And another good swing for Packluck. He's just been automatic here. Another perfect by Taylor Walls. This one is going to find a gap. It's certainly going to score Cedric Mullins from first. So make that 3-0 Packluck. Just the top of the first here.
He mentioned Taylor Wars is his MVP so far, and he's been coming through. That's the second perfect hit from him. And a little pause action, but now we got Richie Palacios. We mentioned before, do we see any more hitters come righty with Rasmussen? We saw Jake Fraley already a perfect home run. Now we're seeing Richie Palacios takes the first pitch, swings right there in the cutter, makes it even at 1.
Yeah, he's just putting up good at bats. He's all over anything that really gets in the zone. He's hitting the ball to all fields. Worked a great rally here in the first. He's going to take a high 4-seam there. Makes this a 3-1 count. 21st pitch of the inning, or 22nd pitch, is going to be fouled off. That's exactly what you want to see, though.
The first of game 1, he had Steven Matz throw at least up to 23, 24 pitches as well.
But that's a 3 spot for Packluck here in the top of the first. So now, Dane comes up to the plate, and he's already down 3. And he starts off with a rope of a ball to the right center field gap that we just barely missed. And that's a perfect single. Very long single for Yandy Diaz. Yep, it's a cutter. Who would have thought? But Jonathan Aranda up in that lefty-righty scenario. Can Dane put together that rally? He's got a 1-1 count here. Inside cutter. He's going to be called for a strike there. On the swing, I believe. 1-2. Actually, would have been a strike 2. 2-2 count. The pitch from Rasmussen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. That must have touched the zone by a pixel. That's strike 3. That's a first out in the inning, and that's not how you want to see if you're Dane in that lefty-righty matchup. So 0-1. Down away sweeper. He's going to chase. Makes this an 0-2 count to Caminero. Low and away cutter. Ground ball to short. Are they going to be able to turn it? They do, even with the off-balance throw by Walls. So a scoreless inning for Dane at the plate. Down 3-0. And really hasn't put together that big inning like we saw in game number 1.
Nope, not
or
yet.
Game 1 of the day, I should say.
Yeah, game 1 of the day. But yeah, great work from Packluck. Able to get that double play after giving up a perfect single to Yandy Diaz to lead off the inning. Got that strikeout looking, and then next at bat, able to roll it over for 2.
Yeah, and a reminder, this is the best of 3 series. Packluck is up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. And all the bats have been on his side right now. That's a swing hit high to left field. That'll be caught routinely, though, for a first out in the inning. But another good swing, another good timing swing. It's a little off on that PCI. You got Chandler Simpson now in the 9 spot, who had a couple big at-bats in game number 1. Was kind of the catalyst to be the end of the Mercy Rule win for Packluck at the plate here. But he's up at the 1-1 count. Already 28 pitches on the mound for Rasmussen and Dane. This is a big out to get. You would love to end this inning, or at least get to the top of the order with nobody on base, especially Chandler Simpson's 99 speed and 99 stealing. But he's going to take an inside cutter, so full count here. The pitch from Rasmussen, and it's going to be hit just late to center field. That's a routine fly out. Make that 2 outs in the inning, so there will be no runners on for Junior Caminero this time.
Yeah, we'll see if Caminero could continue the streak going. 5 straight hits to start out the series. It's going swing at that, but that go foul for make it even at 1 here.
Actually late on an inside pitch. We haven't seen that much out of Packluck today. It's going to be a high 4-seam that ends up above the zone. Make that a 2-1 count. Sets up the low and away pitch. He's going to look at that low and away sweeper outside, though. So 3-1 count. He's going to go low and away sweeper again. He's going to get the ground ball. So that's going to end our inning. We flip forward to the bottom of the second here. So a 0. Big 0 on the mound for Dane. He's trying to crawl back into this game, into this series. Down 3-0. But quickly is behind 0-2. Oh my goodness. And that's a strike. You can tell Dane's adjusting to that strike zone change they made today. Another looking strikeout. That's a quick fly out. Ever you say looking strikeout? Well, I think that never happened. 2 outs here in the second inning. Now comes Hunter Fiducia, who we haven't really seen at all today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Packluck is dealing right now with Rasmussen. 2 strikeouts, only 15 pitches so far. And he got 2 outs here in the top of the second, and make that 3 and the 2 scoreless innings to start out game number 2 for Packluck. Now he has a second 2-3-4 due up in the bottom of the second with Jake Fraley already 1-for-1 with a solo home run in this game.
Yeah, you've seen all the lefties stacked at the top of the order for Packluck. A lot of lefties after Caminero. And it's worked out that first time through the order. But now they're going to come up again. I'm curious to see how much Dane pitches away. He threw a bunch of those low and away sinkers, and a lot of them resulted in perfect hits. This time it goes 4-seam, so good sequence or change of pitch there. Gets the fly out on the 4-seam instead of the sinker there. That's our first out of the third. That one is crushed down the line by Jonathan Arana. That's going to go just foul. Things are kind of moving fast here, as that's roped to center field. So that is a 1-out single for Packluck at the plate. Packluck wins this game, and he wins this best-of-3 series and goes down, or solidifies his spot to go down to Tampa for our in-person finals. Right now, it's been all Packluck. Another solid swing. This one's going to find a glove, though, so make that 2 outs here in the top of the third. Dane managed to get a 0 in the second. He's trying to crawl back here. Looking to get another one here in the third. Currently only down 3, so definitely within reach.
Yeah, very doable. It's just, you need to just get more zeros in. That's a perfect out right there. Some luck would do for Dane as well. Let's see if he can get something rolling here.
Yeah, and I want to see Richie Palacios. He had a big qualifier 1. It turned out he just grounded out the first. So not really much of a showing here in this game as we're seeing our first right-handed starting pitcher. That's a dot of a sinker right on the corner for strike 1. And here comes Taylor Walls, who has been labeled an MVP for Packluck at the plate, but has not been too impactful so far in this series for Dane. Makes this a 1-2 count, low and inside cutter. He's going to get him to bite, but he's going to foul that off. Another 1-2 pitch. That's going to be high above the zone. Makes this a 2-2 count. Inside cutter, going to be ripped foul. Dane staying alive here with 2 strikes here with Taylor Walls. Good take on a high 4-seam away. So he's going to work all the way back to a full count here with 1 out. That's going to be dribbled through, and that's going to get past second base. So a little 1-out single for Taylor Walls. And up comes Chandler Simpson.
Yeah, we'll see if he can roll over this lineup here, get the top of the order. If Simpson could get on, be first and second. A big spot here for Dane. And look at Padlock. He's keep on trying to get that right down sinker for a strike. He was able to get 2 strikeouts pretty much with that pitch. But he's still attacking that zone. That's going to be pushed. That should be 1. I'm not sure if it'll be enough for get 2. And it will. Gets the speedster. Chandler Simpson for a double play and gets out of the 3rd scoreless. 3 straight scoreless innings so far.
Yeah.
For Drew Rasmussen for Packluck.
Yeah, Ras was saying that even though he had that rough top of the 1st for Dane on the mound, he's been kind of getting through innings. We're here in the 4th, and it's still a 3-0 game, just like we saw in the 1st. And as much as the bats have slowed down a little bit here in this game, it's a 3-run game. We've seen 3-run rallies from both these players so far today in some capacity. Dane is definitely capable of putting it. It's just a matter of if you can. We're getting to these middle innings here. 47 pitches on the mound for Packluck's Drew Rasmussen. Or, I mean, for Dane's Rasmussen, my bad. Got them flip-flopped. But, man, look at these at-bats from Packluck at the plate. He's just
off. Wow.
He's tough to set down. He's fighting on a lot of these close pitches, taking a lot of these pitches just inside. He just looks like he's reading Dane's repertoire really well here. Another foul ball. Now all the way up to 51. Yeah. He's going to get the inside 4-seam, though. That's been probably Rasmussen's most effective pitch, that 4-seam. That'll be our first out here in the inning. A very long out, but a first out nonetheless. There's another 4-seam just underneath it. Palacios is going to fly out routine, though. So another quick out here. And we're 1 out away from another 0. Is that the perfect to right field? Is this going to be caught? It is. So we do have another 0. I was about to say that seemed like commentator jinx, but said it was reverse commentator jinx.
There's a 1-0 pitch right to Yandy Diaz, but that's going to go right to center fielder for out number 1 to start out the bottom of the 4th. But we do have the second hitter. It's top of the order here for Dane. He's being a little aggressive here in his swings.
Yeah, he's gone down looking in some late counts here. Probably looking to be aggressive, try to catch a pitch in the zone. Like we mentioned earlier, the strike zone change and the size of the strike zone visually in the game. It's a little bit of a mental change. And I think it's caused him a little bit of fits in these early innings here in game 2. This is going to be fly ball to center field just late on the inside cutter. So that's 2 outs here in the 4th, and Dane just hasn't really gotten it going. Junior Caminero here up. I'm seeing that right. Dane actually hasn't even gotten a hit yet. Actually, nope, he has. I lie. I got a flip-flop. That's a 6 on the top, not a 0. See, this is why I wear glasses, and the glasses still don't help sometimes.
No, I'm here to help too. Don't worry.
So now, 2-1 count to Junior Caminero here, who is 0 for on the day today. Gonna take an inside 4-seam, makes this a 2-2 count. Tries to go front door cutter. That's gonna stay inside. So now full count here, 2 outs to Junior Caminero. And a great take on a low sweeper. So Caminero is gonna reach base. Here comes Cedric Mullins. Here with 2 outs.
Yeah, go ahead. See, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, see, Money could do another big 2-run home run here for Dane.
Yeah, he's had 1 homer for Dane already in that first game that we saw today. 2-1 count to him. It's a little late on that inside cutter. He hasn't looked great on those inside cutters in these lefty-righty at-bats. He's going to take a low 4-seam, though, so full count here. Caminero should be moving on first here with 2 outs. The pitch from Rasmussen. Taken inside, so Dane is fighting here. 2 runners on. 2 outs in the inning. Here comes Jake Fraley, and we might see a bullpen change. We do. Ian Seymour entering this ball game, but we're also going to see a pinch hitter. He's going to do it. Johnny DeLuca coming in for Jake Fraley here. 2 runners on, the tying runner up at the plate here with 2 outs for Dane.
Yeah, Packluck noticed how big a situation this is. We've seen that in game 1 when he brought Brian Baker, when he saw that Dane could get a rally going and get back in the game, and he was able to get out of there, and he's going to do the same thing here. Get Seymour to get DeLuca to roll over to third for the 3rd out, and no damage done. He's through 4 scoreless.
Yeah, this is kind of what we've seen out of Dane this series. He's put together some rallies. He's gotten the runners on. He hasn't capitalized like we saw in that first game he had versus Costa. And it's been really all pack luck here so far. And talk about responding. First pitch of the next half inning, pack luck is going to start off with a leadoff single with none other than Chandler Simpson.
And we might see the bullpen action here too. Well, nope, he might wait one more batter, especially with the 2 lefties out there. We'll see. Decisions.
Let him cook. We're in the middle innings, though. I got to say, Rasmussen actually got some pretty good distance for both players here. Made it all the way to the 5th inning here. Albeit he didn't really get an out in the 5th inning, but at least made it to this point. He got 4 innings out of them. Now both sides have all bullpen from here on out in this game. Brian Baker making another appearance. We saw a bit. That's a perfect rope down the left field line. Junior Camanero's got a 1-out or no-out single here. So runners on the corners here. And up comes Jake Fraley in his lefty lineup. This is where it kind of comes into play. You got a lot of lefty favorable matchups here. That's grounded. It's going to be fielded. So 1 out is going to be made here. So a big out to get for Dane in the field here. But 1 run does score, and there still is a runner in scoring position. Make that 4-0. Make that 6-0.
Get in the tank. Get in the tank.
Oh, I think it just went over it. I don't know. I think it just went over to the left. That is like, It literally just missed. 2-run tank for Jonathan Aranda. And in the blink of an eye, Packluck is up 6-0.
It looks like Packluck locked in his. I was very curious of bringing Baker in there. Maybe use Rasmussen for one more batter against Caminero and then go with the lefty. But right now, I mean, Packluck looks like he's backed in to being locked in here.
Yeah.
And how about it? Caminero for Packluck, 6 for 7 with multiple.
Oh, the funny numbers.
Extra base
nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Caminero's been great for Packluck.
I'm so old that I didn't even think it.
That's going to be a ground ball. This should be an inning though. Actually, it isn't going to be. Cedric Mullins is going to beat it out. So Seymour comes into the game after Brian Baker only gets 1 out here in the 5th. He does get the ground out from Mullins. He does also get this ground ball by Taylor Walls. Play is going to be made. What a diving play. It's short. So that does end our inning. But Packluck puts up 3 as we flip-flop to Dane at the plate here. And he's starting off with a leadoff single.
Yep, let's see if he can get something going. I mean, he's been getting runners on. We mentioned that before. But he's just unable to get that clutch hit to get the runs across the board.
As we a circle changed low at the knees for strike number 1. That's probably been some of the differences between these two. Packluck has been swinging at those pitches and crushing them all game. Dane choosing to be a little passive here. I say that. He ropes this ball perfect to left. It's going to get down. So this is going to be a very long single for Ben Williamson. So here we go, Dane. 2 runners on on the corners. That's another swing through the infield. Here we go. Another hit through the infield. So it's still nobody out. 3 straight hits out of Dane at the plate here. And now he's got 2 runners on with nobody out for Chandler Simpson. This is a big at bat, in my opinion. If you could find a way to get on base with the bases loaded for the top of the order with nobody out, this is going to be hit to straightaway center. It's going to be caught. But they had a chance to dunk in.
Hit that we saw last game.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. It does get caught, though. So now 2 runners on for Yanni Diaz. Ian Seymour remaining in this game. So big at bat here for Dane, trying to claw back into this game, trying to claw back into this series. Currently down 1-0 in the series to Packluck in this best of 3. He's going to take a low 4-seam. Makes this a 2-1 count. Yanni Diaz does crush the lefties. He's going to see a low changeup, make this a 3-1 count. Gets that low cutter, good timing, but underneath the PCI. Wow. Just a matter of pixels and milliseconds. Probably the difference in that swing. So a big out for Packluck on the mound. gets a Yanni Diaz fly out, and now you got to face a Ronda lefty. You get the low and away sweeper, and that's his routine. He gets out of the jam.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't get more exit velo in there. I feel like he made a good swing there. But yeah, limited the damage. Once again, his pack luck. I mean, that's been the series so far. He's been able to limit the damage when Dane gets runners on board here and in the scoring position. He's able to limit to just that one run. He only scored, remember, Dane scored 2 runs last game and only has 1 here in the 6.
Absolutely. That's going to be flowing to left field. Man, these lefty down away sweepers have been diabolical in these last couple innings. Both players putting good swings on them. Just have not really gone their way. And you're kind of seeing that meta. You're kind of seeing the main strategy and why Ian Seymour is a big deal in his bullpen for those lefty at bats. Throw that low and away sweeper. Throw those low and away sliders. You can hit those spots like he has been. He's getting outs even on good swings. But in these righty at bats, he's behind 3-1. Now a 3-2 count. Nick Fortes 0 for on the day. Not 0 for anymore. Down and in cutter. He's going to rope that to the gap. And I think that pitch right there has been the difference between these two. Packluck has been crushing those low and in cutters on the opposite-handed hitters, keeping them fair, getting the bat inside enough. But this is going to be a ground ball. Is it going to be a double play? It is not. The slide actually does not hurt Packluck at the plate. So Simpson does get on base, and Caminero does get the hit with the runner on base here with 2 outs.
Yeah, let's see if he can get some more 2-out hitting here. And especially he got the right person up right now. 2 for 3 already in this game is Caminero with a home run and a double. Yeah,
just tries to find the zone. 3-0. Probably don't give him anything to hit. That's what I would do. Just walk him unintentionally, intentionally walk him. And now you got the lefty-lefty matchup for Jake Fraley, and he's just going to keep in Fraley. Packluck is for this lefty-lefty matchup. Sees that down in the way cutter. He's going to foul that off for strike 1. Miners is game 2 of this best of 3 series. Packluck up 1-0 in this series so far. If he wins, he moves on to our finals for this Sunburst Invitational. But here we go. 2 runners on, 2 outs. The 1-2 from Seymour. That's going to be taken inside. So now a 2-2 count. There's that low and away sweeper. It's hit high and pretty deep, but not deep enough. That's going to be routine. So once again, a jam that is averted. This time for Dane on the mound. And he's going to start off with a laser off the bat of Junior Caminero. It's going to get to the gap too. He's going to send him second. He's going to get there easily. So a leadoff single for Caminero, and we're kind of seeing a good bit of this from both sides. You get out of a jam and then instantly respond with leadoff hits. Now the question for Dane is, can he actually hit in these runners and put up that crooked number inning? He has yet to in this final series yet.
And Packluck's still keeping Seymour here at the 20th pitch. I know he has the lefty here, but how much more do you go with him after this? But still, it's setting up for the rest of the bullpen because I think this is the first. Did he use Baker earlier? I think this is it. Just he went from Rasmussen to Seymour.
I think so. Yeah, I believe that's how that went. I think Baker was only used by Dane, who gets him to bite on the low sweeper there. That's going to be a swing and a miss, and that's our first out. Yeah, actually, I haven't seen too many swings and misses on pitches like that for Packluck this game. This is roped up the middle by DeLuca, though. Runner will not go home, so double play is in order with 1 out, but you do have 90 speed on first. What will Dane do? Is he going to send that runner? Is he going to keep the double play alive? This is going to be hidden foul territory. That'll be strike number 1. Low cutter. Oh, yeah, I think we all got to get used to those. Strike 2. DeLuca is running from first, though. So smart base running from Dane. He's going to get 2 runners in scoring position. Double play is now eliminated. Chance to chip away here. That's roped to left. It's going to get down. So another hit for Dane. Make this 6-2.
Still very curious why he's just not pulling the plug on Seymour.
Yeah. 30 pitches now.
The confidence can't be up there. I mean, yeah, here we go.
Yep.
Now
Here
we
comes
get
Brian Baker. About what we would expect at this point, and expect those low and away pitches. Ben Williamson, who's actually been pretty effective today for both sides, even some of these righty-righty at bats. Currently up with 2 runners on. That's going to be hit to right field. A little underneath it, though. Is the runner going to go home with 90 speed? He is. Dane is going to send him. The throw from Fraley is not in time. So make that 6-3. Dane does get 2 in the inning here.
That was a good send. I mean, you had to make a perfect throw to get the Luke out there. And now you have to cut the lead in half.
Aggressive base running was the difference for another run there for Dane. Makes it 6-3. Still alive in his inning, though. He's going to be just late on net or late on net. It's going to curl foul. It's now a 2-2 count to Taylor Walls, who's 2 for 2 on the day. He's going to take that low and in four seam. Makes this a full count. Runner on first. Should be running with 2 outs here. Dane's going to foul that off. So once again, 3-2, 2 outs. Gets the pitch inside. It's hit high, but not deep enough. That'll be caught right on the track. So Dane does put up 2. Making it a 6-3 ball game here in the top of the 7th.
And he has last lick, so yeah, I mean, he's still ways to go in this game. 3 runs is not much, especially to these guys when they could get the momentum going for hitting wise. But right there, that's ripped. I'm telling you, he's making off Seymour. I'm telling you, Packluck is making some good swings, but it's just going right to fielders.
Yeah, I mean, those sweepers, lefty-lefty, and the sliders righty-righty are hard to hit enough, but when that PCI shrinks or when you get those tougher exit velocities with the lower power hitters, it is just relentless. So you see exactly why these players are going to it. It's been effective in getting outs, even with the good swings. But Yandy Diaz up against the lefties. He's going to get the walk here. Seymour up to 24 pitches for Dane on the mound. Another lefty-lefty at bat here. Curious to see how Dane responds at the plate here, or Packluck responds at the plate. He's going to hit that on the ground, though. It's a slow turn, but they still turn it. So a double play ends this inning. Dane actually gets to 0 after putting up the 2 spot. This time on a low and away circle change, gets the ground out. And here we go. A chance to kind of keep crawling back into this game. 1-2 to Chandler Simpson now. Trying to get on base for the top of the order with the big bats like we've continuously mentioned. Dane currently down 3, needs to win this game to stay alive in this best of 3 series. Gonna get a pitch down in, it's gonna find the gap, it's gonna get through the infield. So you have 99 speed, 99 steal on first. And now this gets interesting. Yandy Diaz up here. Do you steal with Chandler Simpson? He does. He's gonna steal right away. Now an open base at first. Be curious to see if Packluck thinks anything here. Probably he's going to still attack Yandy. He is going to go down and in slider. That's going to find the zone right on the corner. Good pitch. Makes this an 0-2 count. Goes down in slider again and gets the fly out. Good pitch.
Double down on there. That was a good pitch. The one, he didn't hit his spot there for the second one, but the previous pitch kind of set it up, right?
Yeah.
Because he was able to dot that up, and it just felt like went to the same area, and it felt like Dane had to swing at it, especially being with 2 strikes. But yeah, that was a great pitch right there from Packluck.
Yeah, sometimes just throwing the same pitch twice in a row is the way to get good players out. That's something I learned from playing back in the day. They get so good at recognizing sequences and predicting what pitch you're going to throw next. As that's roped high and deep to right. And it's going to go. An absolute laser for Jonathan Aranda. And here comes Dane. Down 1. 6-5 ball game here. And in comes Griffin Jacks.
Trying to shut it down here. Doesn't want him to get back in this. Well, he's already back in this game, but doesn't want him to tie up this game. And Cavanero, the best bat in the Rays lineup, that's going to find a hole, and that's going to be a single up the middle. And Dane looking to tie up this game or more.
Yeah, he finally got that big home run. He didn't really have any home runs in this entire series so far. Been a big inning for him here in the bottom of the 7th. Tying runner now on first. Albeit if you are pack luck, you do absolutely take just a single off the bat of Caminero. Especially with him being the tying runner. But it does fall behind right after 3-0 to Cedric Mullins. He has a 4-pitch walk. Tying runner is on second. Johnny DeLuca with a big at bat here for Dane.
It felt like he wanted no part of Mullins there. Go right to the righty-righty matchup, and look at that. Sweepers right away. 2 swinging strikes. He's looking to roll this one over, but he's going to pop up the circle. Changed. Someone should hover over that, and they do. Palacios gets that for out number 2. Now, big at bat here for both sides. Nick Fortes, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Tying run at second base, but that's going right to Palacios once again, and he'll get out this inning, but not before Deane makes it a 1-run game after a big 2-run home run from Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah, big sign of life there for Dane. He needed an inning like that to be right back in his ball game. Now, can he keep it going on the mound? Ian Seymour is up to 26 pitches. Into the bottom half of this order here for pack luck at the plate. It's a big inning. We finally saw the home run. We saw the rally out of Dane, but he still is down 1 with only 6 outs remaining in this game at the plate. So you need to find a way to keep this 6-5 of him. You finally show your life to get back into this game. This is hit hard to left field. It's going to land. Oh my goodness, it's going to bounce off the wall hard too, so there won't even be a play from the left fielder. So that's going to be a leadoff double for, of course, Taylor Walls. Here comes Packluck, looking to respond after 2-run inning. That's hit up the middle, but caught. Wow, I thought that was get over his head for a second.
Yeah, at first I thought it was getting over. I thought I was going to find some green there.
He just kind of died in the air. So Ian Seymour does get that out. But in comes Griffin Jacks. You can see some. In comes Hunter Fiducia for the hand this matchup here. Going lefty versus righty here. So you get inside sinker. He's going to hit it high and pretty deep to center field. It will be caught by Cedric Mullins. So make that 2 outs, though. Pitch hitter comes in, sees 1 pitch, flies out to center field. It's 2 outs in the inning, and up comes Chandler Simpson. I mean, you got to get this out if you're Dane. Don't even let any runners come on base or be on base for the top of the order. He's going to get a high fly ball to center field. Cedric Mullins doesn't get there. It's over his head. Not only does Chandler Simpson hit the runner in, it's a triple. Wow. I thought that was going to be caught. I thought that ball was dead. I thought Mullins was coasting over there easily. Instead, it just kept going over his head. And now you get a runner on with 2 outs for Junior Caminero, and it's now 7-5 pack luck.
This is a big bat. We saw Caminero be hot all series for pack luck. Here's the 1-1 pitch that misses there for being 2-1. Oh, man.
Potentially big play, that last play. Caminero is going to ground out the second, though. So Dane does minimize, keep it to a 1-run inning. He did get the bats going the last inning with a big home run by Jonathan Aranda, but still is down 2 now, heading to the bottom of the 8th. And it looks like we had a leadoff runner, as this is also hit to left field. It's over the head. Runners are running a little weird, though.
Oh.
Is he going to get thrown out at third? Oh my goodness, he did. A little bit of a bad jump from the runner on first. It's going to get over the head, and he doesn't get a good jump going to third, and he gets thrown out at third, so potentially costly first out for Dane on the base paths. And up comes Chandler Simpson. Your tying runner up at the plate. That's going to be hit to left field, though. Another good swing from Dane. Looks like 3 straight swings, resulting in hits to start off this 8th. And now up comes Yandy Diaz. His first pitch swinging just underneath that sweeper. It is surely deep enough, though. There'll be no play at home. Make this a 7-6 ball game. Dane responds with a run of his own here. But now comes Jonathan Aranda, and there should be no more lefties out of the pen. He has to face a righty. So Jax is going to stay in the game. And big swing and a miss. Too early on a down and in cutter.
Same pitch that Ronda hit a 2-run home run just previously.
Absolutely.
That, but it could be a tie game right now if there was no miscue.
Down and in sweeper hit high and deep to center, just late on the swing, and it is caught. So Packluck does barely get out of the trouble thanks to a base running miscue by Dane on the base paths. So now Dane comes up on the mound. I mean, only down 1. But now you got the heart of the order 2, 3, 4 coming up. Jake Fraley, who already has at least one perfect the opposite way in a righty pitcher matchup here. Leading off the inning for Packluck. We've seen back and forth runs from both sides. That's rope to right field. Does it have the legs? It does not. It's just off the wall. It stays in the park by a matter of feet. So a very long leadoff single for Jake Fraley and Packluck. Now up comes Jonathan Arana, who is 3 for 4 on this game today.
And if you're Packluck, you're looking for any insurance runs you can get right here. Good start here. And you got to give him a little credit. He didn't really go with the pitch hit for Jake Fraley when we had a lefty on the mound and able to come through late in the game so far. We'll see if it comes to anything here. But look at that, 3-0 here. Yandy Diaz looming on deck. Make that ball 4.
And here we go. 2 runners on. Big situation now for Dane on the mound. And of course, first pitch sweeper down the way, gets a swing and a miss. Dane down 1. Looking to stay alive in this series. That's grounded up the middle. Slow turn. He's going to be safe at second. Bases are loaded for Cedric Mullins now. Dane just could not get the out at 2. We got chaos ball in store. Cedric Mullins is going to hit that to left. Packluck did chase a little bit just below the zone, but this surely is deep enough to score that runner. It is, so make that 8-6 Packluck. Does get at least 1 runner home here.
I think the play up the middle, his only play was going to first right there to get Yandy.
Yeah, it's a bang-bang play at second, especially that slow animation didn't help his case. But it's always close on those plays, especially when it's hit really slowly like that was. And now it's led to this situation, 2 runners on. That is crushed to deep right center field. I don't think this is being caught. Runner is tagging anyway. It is going to land. Runner's going to stay on first. So this will be a very long single for Taylor Walls, keeping the double play alive. But another run for Packluck. Make that 9-6. And man, he's just kept the foot on the gas. He has made Dane pay for all the mistakes and extra runners he's had on this inning. It's now a 3-run lead for him. And exactly what you want to see when you only need 3 outs from solidifying the series and solidifying a spot to go down to St. Pete.
Yeah, he's just keep on tacking on here. Perfect opportunity here to tack on more. And how about Taylor Ward's 3rd hit of the game? He mentioned before he was an MVP of the run so far. He continues to contribute here for Packluck. Now we got Richie Palacios in a big spot, 2-1 count. That's going to be a rip. That finds some grass and get another run across the board to make it 10-6 for Packluck.
Just another good piece of hitting the sit back on that low and away changeup. Hit it to left. So make that 10-6 like you mentioned. And Cole Sulcer in on the mound is trying to end this inning for Dane. You've shown some life. You fought back in his game. You were down 1. But a great inning from Packluck to respond, put up a bunch of runs on his own. And we talk about the momentum and how it swings back and forth. It's all Packluck right now. Everything going his way. Swinging 3-0, green light. Going to be a big swing and a miss, though. Makes this a 3-1 count. Gets another fastball right down the middle. Just underneath it. We'll make it 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. No runner will move either. So still runners on first and second. Up comes Chandler Simpson, who had a big triple last at bat. Looking to keep this inning alive for Packluck as he's trying to add on. Going to get a low and in circle change. Check swing. He did not go. And it was apparently called a ball. Makes this a 1-0 count for Simpson at the plate. That's grounded past the second baseman. So here we go. Chandler Sims with another big hit for Pack Luck. Bases loaded for Junior Caminero. Oh my Lanta. Big at bat here for Pack Luck to try to put a dagger in this ball game. Big at bat for Dane to try to stay alive in this series and keep this to only a 4-run deficit. We got a 1-1 count here. The pitch. Sweeper down and away. Hit high and deep, but not deep enough. So Dane gets out of the inning after only giving up 3, but it's still a 4-run deficit as he needs to score 4 to even stay alive in this series. As that's going to be lined up the middle, and Caminero has a leadoff single.
That's all you need. Just start with something. You can't get 4 runs in one swing, not right from the jump. See if we can do here with see money here.
He was a little buckled on that changeup there with that check swing. Makes that a 1-1 count. Down and in cutter, just underneath the PCI. Makes this our first out here in the bottom of the 9th. Pack Luck is 2 outs away from being our second qualifier winner in this Sunburst Invitational. But Johnny DeLuca comes up for Dane. Trying to put up a rally here. Needs 4 to stay alive. That's flowing to center field. This will also be caught. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Pack Luck is 1 out away from clinching out this series. And up comes Nick Fortes. Down the way sweeper, foul down the line. Makes this an 0-1 count. Jacks up to 27 pitches. That's grounded to third. Caminero is gonna glove it. And there it is. Pack Luck with a 2-0 series win to be your qualifier 2 winner. And he will be going down to Tampa along with Alex Gakill for our Sunburst Invitational Finals. Man, what a showing from him today. Big bats were the real story of these 2 games. Took a little bit for the bats to really connect for him in game 2. But they eventually did with a big couple innings in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. And he is actually our now second player to solidify a spot down in St. Pete.
Yeah, he's coming right down to St. Pete, joining Alex Gakill. We'll look at the replay from this game and start off early for Pack Luck. 3 runs in the first, including 2 home runs going back-to-back to start out the game with Caminero and Jake Fraley. And then in this RBI double from Taylor Wallace, he had 3 hits in the game, including 2 doubles. And then look at this, Jonathan Aranda tacking on more. I still think it went to the tank there, Skin.
It might have just found the corner there. And honestly, you talked about it a bit. Pack Luck just got the bats going first. And the key difference in this game, and really this entire series, he got the bats going first in both games and made Dane play catch up this entire time. And right when Dane got back into this game, he clawed all the way back down 6-1. Eventually made it 6-5 here with his Jonathan Aranda homer. Then eventually made it 7-6 after a response. But eventually in that 9th inning, Pack Luck was able to actually run away with it with that big rally.
Yeah, the 9th inning kind of just sort of was able to hold on to the lead there as he going to get, as you see here, with the sacrifice fly. And then the double once again from Taylor Wars. Actually, a single here. Could have been double. He was trying to tag up on there. But yeah, just great showing from Pack Luck all around. His offense was just great throughout the night. Top to bottom too. It wasn't just the top. It was from top and bottom. He was able to turn over the lineup when needed. Not only that, he had different lineup from game 1 to game 2. Jake Fraley with the perfect home run to start in the 2nd and then come back in the 9th. He left him in, didn't take him out once Seymour came in, left him in, had a big hit in the 9th to start the rally going. Just good showing from Pack Luck. And he was also, what I like to see, especially in game 1, he wasn't afraid to go to his bullpen knowing the situation. I feel like he knew the situation at hand and he was able to attack it and strategize from it when needed to.
Yeah, he was relentless with the bats, but you also got to be relentless as a manager. When you see that chance to hold a big lead and minimize damage on the mound, he did it, and it worked out for him in game 1. And in game 2, he managed to get all the way to that finish line, just relentlessly putting up runs. Whenever Dane managed to kind of spark a comeback, he managed to keep on putting up more in the next inning, and that was so key. Never really got Dane a chance to be confident with a lead and kind of establish himself. He never really looked comfortable in that series of 2 here.
Yeah, there was a lot of moments where Dane had runners on base, but he's unable to get the clutch hits. He did eventually got them later in the game, but early in the game, if he was able to get at least 1 or 2 more, make it not a 1-run half inning, but make it a 2 or 3 half inning, he could have won that game for sure.
Absolutely. We're actually going to be talking to our winner, Pack Luck, in a few minutes. We're going to quickly throw it to a break, take a few minutes to get him all set up in all that jazz. And we're going to talk to the winner, our second qualifier winner, in just a couple minutes.
Is Junior Caminero the most exciting slugger under the age of 25?
Yeah, again, and it's so funny because we have so many young players in Major League Baseball right now that are absolutely killing it. But I think in terms of power, if you want someone that's going to rake and hit home runs, Junior Caminero has to be the most exciting. I mean, his bat speed, 78.5, was second in all of baseball last season. He hit, obviously, 45 home runs. That set a single-season AL record for players aged 21 or younger, only trailing Hall of Fame third baseman Eddie Matthews in 1953 for the Major League record. So, again, he's someone that he's doing things that we haven't seen before for someone his age. So if we're going to talk about someone under 25 that's someone you want to watch, it's got to be Junior.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rays Sunburst Invitational, brought to you by Webull. I'm Scan. We're here with Scuffy. We just saw, honestly, what felt like a really fast 2-game series in our finals here in our Sunburst Invitational Qualifier 2. And we saw Packlock pick up a big win, big 2 wins, versus Dane to be our second qualifier winner. And he's actually here in just a moment here. And we're going to be talking to him and getting his thoughts on how he feels being our second qualifier winner. And there he is, Pack Luck. Congratulations on being our second winner to go down to Tampa. How are we feeling after that series win?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm so happy to go to Tampa. Never thought this was going to happen. Insane.
Oh, yeah, you will be joining Alex Gakil, being the second competitor down there. And you mentioned before game 2, you were confident into game 2, and you're hitting right from the jump. You made a little adjustment, Jake Fraley, get a perfect home run in the first. And not only that, you just kept on tacking on. As the game went on, you saw Dane was able to get some runs back. Was there any moment where you were hesitated, or where you think that you just need to push back and lock it back, lock it even more? And it looked like in the ninth you were able to do that.
Yeah, I feel like I was just locked in later innings, though. I just could not hit the whole time. And then the 9th inning, I just had an insane 9th inning.
Yeah, did you notice anything different? Like, did you make any adjustments at the plate in those later innings to finally get those hits going? Or was it just a matter of just finding the timing and just it being muscle memory at that point and the hits connecting one after one?
Yeah, Luke Rayleigh, Luke Rayleigh was definitely, Jake, I don't even know, that was just insane, that game. Just so excited to see you guys in Tampa. I mean, it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We can't wait to see you at St. Pete. But once again, congrats, my man. And you'll be playing for $12,000 in a couple months at St. Pete. And we'll see you then.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you for hosting this.
Congratulations once again, Pack Luck. We'll be seeing you down in Tampa here in the near future. Go enjoy your win. Go enjoy your rest of the day. Big 2-game series that we just saw out of Pack Luck today. And we talked about it a bit. I mean, he mentioned Jake Fraley there. Jake Fraley was someone that stayed in some lefty at bats there. Had some bigger at bats later on in the game. We saw big at bats from Taylor Walls. we talk about in these Rays tournaments, obviously guys like Caminero and Yandy Diaz and Cedric Mullins are like the most favorite named players in these, but sometimes it's those lesser known guys or the less obvious ones that show up and make a difference. And that was a big difference there for Pack Luck for sure.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time and again. I mean, I could mention when 2 years ago with the Sunburst Invitational, John DeLuca made a name for himself, had a walk-off hits in the semifinals, in the finals for Go RP, who eventually won the Sunburst Invitational. So we'll see what Taylor Willis could do for Pack Luck as he goes down to St. Pete this year.
Yeah, it's just qualifier number 2 of the bunch. If you guys want to sign up for qualifier 3, type an exclamation point play in the Twitch chat and you'll get the link to sign up for yourself. I can't emphasize enough how fun these qualifiers are to take part in. I recommend signing up for them. It's a fun ordeal to take part in, whether you're trying to really make a push like these top players that we see or just looking to compete in something. The Sunburst Invitationals are a lot of fun. You can sign up with that link in chat. And we still have 2 more qualifiers in store, 2 more qualifiers or players to qualify to see who comes down to Tampa. And based on what we've seen already in these first 2 qualifiers, they've been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that has been great. And like we said, we have 2 more to go. It's going to be a lot more jam-packed action coming your way. Once again, shout out to the Rays and being put on this for the 4th straight year. It's been so much fun, and we're not even close to being done yet. We're halfway through the qualifiers. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's qualifier number 2 and stick around for 3 and 4 as it comes your way.
Yeah, a lot in store. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure you do follow the Rays Gaming channels here. We'll be streaming all this stuff here over these next 2 qualifiers. Make sure you do keep up with it on the Twitters as well. I know you and I are always posting updates along with Yuki. There's a whole crew of people that are working on this, so shout out to everyone behind the scenes for running this broadcast and making this whole thing work. And we'll see you guys in just a few weeks with Qualifier 3's finals. Once again, make sure you sign up for that. But we're just getting going here. From Scuffy to me, Scan, is a fun night hanging out with you guys here in the Sunburst Invitational Qualifier 2. And I will see you back here in just a couple of weeks. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.